large rock into a clay golem permanently,
Oh.
and they will fight for me forever.
Can we say that you've been doing that since we found out about the war?
Yeah.
Like 14 clay golems. Just rolling in.
Every single battle, there's statues everywhere.
Oh, right. I forgot I was going to switch from my spells to Debbie, please, so I could store them all. Oh, never mind.
I've got the spell book up if you want.
Nah, I've already got this stuff. I'll just stick with this.
I found something out, by the way.
Besides,
Paladin's raw DPS is insane.
Oh.
My friend sent me his the other day. He was
Yeah.
like, I made the boo-boo of giving him it's called the Flame Tongues, some weapon, and it's a sword which does an extra 2d6 damage.
Oh.
And at the time I was like, oh, it's fine. But then because he's a Paladin, the way it stacks, so each hit he does is 4d6 plus 2d8 for Divine Smite. So, but then he was like, at this level is the way Smite works, he ends up doing like something ridiculous, like 12d6 plus 6d8 damage, and per round I'm like, I made an error here.
Yeah.
Maybe a thief appears in the night.
See, imagine as well the different the cleric, the grave one, which was given vulnerability in the next turn. Oh, it's be able to double everything with 3 levels of cleric.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's
We'll quickly. I think we're gonna go over this as the break at dinner. But yeah, just a reminder that this is for charity, for cancer research, and yeah, there'll be opportunities to donate either pennies or whatever. So just remember these. But yeah. And it is also just to have fun, so even if it looks like I'm trying my hardest to kill you, I do like you all.
Say not on me.
That is fun.
Said aim it all at me.
Yeah, I normally do.
I've got a sizable health pool.
Yeah.
And if I need extra health, I'll just turn into a dragon and get an extra 200 or so health.
Oh yeah, because you can do like adult dragons.
Ancient dragons.
Good hell.
That's pretty
I didn't realize you could get into.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could get to that stage.
At Challenge Rating 20, you get Ancient Brass Dragon or Ancient White Dragons.
Oh.
So I can choose polymorph into either of them.
Can I ride that into battle?
No. Yeah.
You become
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome.
Oh, see, I want to see if both of us, because I've got shape change as well.
Oh my god.
So it should be. Oh yeah. I didn't know. We were talking about there. I was saying I was either going to be a devil or a demon. I didn't want to be a dragon. You know, I had to be one. So I was thinking of Pit
Yes.
Fireballs at
Pit
will.
fiends are terrifying.
Yeah, Pit Fiend. Well, they literally do. Yeah.
There's like single target damage.
I think
at 9.
They do 4 attacks. It's like plus 14
it's
to
like
hit.
mace,
Yeah.
bite, tail,
Yeah.
claw.
Yeah.
And it's all poison.
Yeah, and they can all stun you and knock you prone and stuff.
I think, yep, I've got Pit Fiend as one of my polymorph
Yeah,
forms.
that thing is great.
Christ. This is why my campaign's ending at level 15. I'm not dealing with that.
Also, in the event that any of us do require resurrection, I can polymorph into a Planetar and cast Raise Dead.
Oh my god.
Nice. Nice.
Are you guys like toggling god mode? Like,
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is you can certainly try.
There are unfortunate catches to it, though.
See, I
How
just
does
have
that
all
work?
the fire spells and then random effects.
Oh, really?
That's my thing.
I was saying to Rob, I ran like a random level 17 one shot for people, and they nearly killed a Grishro in one round, and I was like, unacceptable.
Yeah.
Just put a 1 at the front. Of
Wow. Yeah. As I was saying, I don't really have much damage doing spells at all, to be honest. Most of mine are just cool random shit. So don't rely on me.
so you're flashy, basically.
Not really, no. It's just like things to save me. Lots and lots of teleportation spells.
No, I can't be that interested. I'm literally relying on jail if they don't want to part me.
What's your main weapon for using
Lit a pistol with elemental damage. So.
spells? Like, do you have a go-to
Yeah, is it lit?
damage spell or deep spell?
By the way, I'm not going to be able to
Go for it.
stealth at all. My hair is literally made of fire.
If it's
Green
not,
torch.
if it's in the light, it might not be so bad.
Yeah, if it's like
If it's,
Oh, but you'll be the only one who doesn't have dark vision.
oh no, we're in the Shadowfell. Yeah.
So
We're
I guess
not
I'm
stealth.
sitting next to you then.
We're not stealthy.
Shadowfell.
Not the Shadowfell. You're over there like we're here.
It's
To
like
be
if
fair,
you try to hide in the
yeah.
bush and the whole bush just slowly
Yeah.
catches
See,
fire.
my character has no
That's
intention
flaming
of
bush
stealth.
moving.
Like, I'm not
Yeah,
stealth anywhere.
I'm a bit too big.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You
9'7".
can't
That's not ridiculous.
Yeah. But
You've historically never had any luck with stealth either, as a rogue as well.
I've not been too bad. You think about lock picking. Yeah.
I've heard about the
Yeah,
inheritance.
yeah.
That's
We had to knock
it is.
We tried to
Bad.
break it.
Yeah, we actually need a wizard with knock. But really badly.
We tried to knock on it. We had to try and break it in a pocket through. And we failed, so we had to knock and wake him up.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But yeah, I don't even know. My always saying, you know, that's my signature spells. I mean, my spell mastery is non-detection, but I mean that's not really my main. I think I love Bigby's hand is too good, man.
Yeah.
See, greater. All I intend to do is just greater invisibility. Bigby's hand.
Oh my god.
I mean, what do you do?
It's a. What's your go-to? It's fire of some variety.
Oh, I got all the fire spells. Of course, the 9th level one I picked was Meteor Swarm.
Oh, was that 20
I love
d6
that
or
spell.
something crazy?
You have a go-to.
It's like
spell.
40 d6 actually, isn't it?
It's 20
It's
d6
20d6
in a
per-
40 foot radius.
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought it was
20,
20 and 20.
20d6 bludgeoning and 20d6 fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's an insane spell.
That's going to take a lot of time to roll.
That could like one shot a wizard because that's like 125 damage average.
Plus, it's a massive area effect.
Yeah, yeah.
It's multi-wizards.
Yeah, and also like wizards are not going to be dodging that or sorcerers.
And I can also cast it carefully so it doesn't hit you.
Well, technically, it just means that he automatically makes a saving throw.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's fine. And then I half the damage anyway.
It's
So
not like
if we're doing a quarter damage.
If you have the meta magic is really good. You got twin spell.
Yes. I took careful
Oh my
spell,
God.
heightened, subtle, and twinned.
Oh yeah, they're the best.
It's almost Rob saying it's 5 minutes or less.
Ooh.
I currently have a demi-plane with 4 demons inside it, just waiting as well.
Oh yes.
Although Rob told me there were 4 random demons, so I'm gonna have to ask him
Oh no.
what that means.
It's gonna all be the like little.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
the little blobs of jelly.
the
The little
dretches
claw
or whatever
about
they're called. Yeah,
Or
Four
maybe
dretches.
variants.
yeah. I can't do it 4, I'm sure, but anyway. I don't care. I'm dropping them in the bathroom down.
If you put them all in front of you, they can
Yeah.
pass through them.
Or you could put a demi-plane behind something, and then we blast it back through into it, then you close it again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my lord.
And then, well, depends what demons are inside it, really. If it is Dretch,
They'll just give the light give them a quick stroke.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they'll be dead, and then we'll just have to wait.
But
you
they'll
just use
still
like
be
some
stuck in
AoE
there.
cantrip. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check as well. Actually, I don't know what happens when you like trap someone in it. Like, do they have to make a save, or are they just stuck there?
I think
It's 8th level, to be fair.
I think its time is stopped until and when you open it again, it's as if nothing happened.
Creatures remain
This
trapped.
is all the combo play starts coming in now. And discussing, oh, we can mix this with this.
Yeah, they'd have to
So-
plane shift out. There's no other way out.
Oh my.
I've got
Oh,
40-foot knockback cantrips every turn, so if you put something
Oh,
behind
that's
something,
fine.
I can use that. Good.
Bigby's hand does that as well.
It's interesting how much fighting you think you're doing.
We'll blast the door back through the demi-plane. That way.
I'm gonna say is you have to be alive to.
Yeah. See if it does get like there's one member of Elephant Alliance left against the whole pack. Hopefully it's not really. The monks are going. If there is a battle royale, then
To tell you what, of all the people,
The
the
monks
greatest
are
character is
hard.
the only one that terrifies me. Great, the monk.
Oh yeah.
Insecure.
2 months.
I've
There's
promised
two.
that I have to fight
There's
you.
two. I didn't realize there were two.
There's a
Oh,
lot of
are
sea
they both
sorcerers.
open?
I don't
So
know.
Oh my god. There's gonna be so much
I
speed.
that's what the anger.
you're
Like, they're
into
gonna
sea
just go for you.
sorcerers, so we're like opposites. So
If I'm
we're
next to
gonna have
him,
to
I
fight
can't
each
lose.
I'm
other.
gonna have to
Together,
keep
go
away.
I did it
steam
once.
sorcerers.
If only you fight, for example,
It's like
at level
just
20
giving
constitution,
showers to everyone.
you still have a
Yeah, we're
70%
thinking
chance.
you're
know.
going to be
Still
like
70%
locked in
chance
battle, maybe
I've
fall
got
in love.
25% with a plus 13
I don't know.
constitution.
I like
Unless I
that.
stand next to him, then the other
Yeah.
fail is with a nat one.
Right. Okay.
I'm still a bit
So
terrified
I'm-
by that.
I'm
Like,
just doing
mash
the
sort of
50
thing. That if you're
That's
like,
a good idea.
looking
Yeah.
at the little Gerald down
Everyone
here,
probably
it's
should.
like,
No matter
I
what
think
you
Gerald
do,
can really
stay within
like,
50 feet.
compared to Meteors.
Because everyone gets plus 4 to their saving throws.
All of them.
Yeah. But then remember, monks they have like proficiency all the
Oh,
time.
yeah, but it doesn't matter if like, we just shush them out.
Yeah, sure. Can't really just about things, but
If you levitate above them,
You have wish, you can do
they
anything.
still
I
hit
don't have
you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they do weird stuff.
They do it, like, actually,
coaching drip
Also, they do have
I don't get. I only get like 3.
Oh, really? What was the wisdom? It's 5. How many you
They're really expensive. Good points.
You only get them. You get them.
Oh yeah, you get 1 per modifier. You know, so you only have 5. Yeah.
Should have 5 then, right? Instead of 4. 3.
If you have 20 wisdom, you should have 5.
Yeah.
Great ones.
Oh, light.
I'm sure that's how it works.
I thought it was good doing it. Yeah, I think. Should do that here.
Yeah, because the gunslinger I play on has 12 wisdom.
Yeah,
so
you
it
put
is
your wisdom
one
on
great
top.
point.
Yeah, I boosted intelligence.
That advantages come in handy. Oh, you're a class as a fighter, so you get all the.
One good thing is now my crits also start at 19.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you have hemorrhage.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
hemorrhaging
yeah.
as well. So that's
Yeah.
that's an extra like damage die. So.
Shit, yeah, oh, you get a crit, man. You can also use a grit point.
Well, I get 4 attacks per turn, and poor little Gerald outputs 1d10 plus 5, and then there's 1d6 element.
I'm going to rely on you to know what you're doing every time left.
I know, it's like every time I have to ask Roll, like, what do I do? I think I know, because it's actually quite...
Yeah, it's good. I have
It's quite
no
simple.
idea
Compared to
what
that,
that's gonna work.
that's
I think they'll read a spell out, that's it. And stay sure.
Piercing shots.
What is Mark's weakest saving throw?
No,
Monk,
you're proficient in them all.
Maybe
Seriously?
strength.
Yeah.
strength.
But in terms of lowest, they'll
Probably
probably
strength, so they don't be that sure. Or charisma.
Yeah, strength, charisma, and intelligence maybe.
But yeah, they get professional. So it's at least going to be 6.
It's like the countdown.
We are doing it.
Yeah. It's very professional.
The countdown things just kind of...
Did you say this is very professional? Very professional. Yep, very. I'm protecting go. Yes, I've been streaming for 10 minutes of. Oh well.
You have like bend the face as well, you know.
Sorry?
You have like a ability called bend the face where you get to give advantage to someone on a. There's a wild magic.
It's a rolls a d4 and either adds or subtracts it to a roll someone else made.
I thought I'm sure there's one at like level. Is he level 2 or level 7 where you get to do advantage to someone or let them re-roll?
Get your shit together. There we go.
I don't see that. I might have missed it.
RS.
I don't know if he's thumbs up my "you got this" or whether he means let's go. Your mighty army, in its entirety, is marching to reclaim the Shadowfell. Word has reached your ears reached the ears of the leaders of a most potent weapon that slumbers there, a relic so powerful that it could rid the universe of the false gods with ease. It is said that this weapon is so ancient and hidden that even the Pantheon do not know or remember its existence. But you're not leaving anything to chance. You must take the Shadowfell from them, and then, with this weapon in your grasp, you can topple the evil Pantheon from their thrones and return the multiverse to its people. Plan is as follows. Lord Asmodeus, Lee Zuktomi, and Blobmaster Dublex will lead our main army, or lead the only army, to strike at the stronghold of the Shadowfell. This will distract the Pantheon from your true purpose, whilst wresting the control of the Pantheon. You have been given the honor of claiming the weapon itself. You have been tasked with leading a smaller force, helmed by Lady Zariel, Archdevil of the Nine Hells, destroying any Pantheon forces near the weapon's location, and then you will find it in whatever secretive vault it has been hidden in, and take it back to the main army. You see before you a vast mountain, and at its top, a great castle, made of black hewn stone which absorbs the light, almost as if staring into darkness itself. A great silhouette against the grey, stormy skies of the Shadowfell. And as you stare longer and longer, you almost see a swirling blackness, as if the stone itself is made from shadows. There is a dull light permeating the landscape, casting a deathly sick hue across all you see before you. There are very small, tiny pinpricks of light from the garrison that has been amassed at the stronghold. Once your point of power, now overrun by Pantheon scum, your force is marching up the path leading to the castle. More than understanding your predicament, 2/3 of your army is fodder, shambling hordes of zombies, skeletons, the undead, the cacophony of noise reaching your ears. Your main force is the battering ram, that is you, intended to break over the walls. Find the location of this weapon. Lady Zario is there with you. So, what did you plan?
Do you know the location of the weapon, my lady?
Well, we know this. We know it's somewhere in the stronghold. We think it's beneath. There's a broken entrance of sorts. We believe that they have been paying tribute to Umbra, the god of shadows, in this chamber. But we believe there is some secret entrance into a further complex. I can get you to the start of there. There will be, we'll have to kill some scum to get there. But if I get you to the start, it's up to you to go all the way.
It does.
Scum shall not stop us.
You,
Okay, so how far will you accompany us? To the entrance?
I'll accompany you to the entrance of the
Stronghold.
the entrance. We will go over the stronghold walls, and I'll come you to the entrance of this this temple, this shrine to Umbra. This inside, and then I must coordinate the battle.
Of course.
I'm probably just stomping around, like pacing.
What do we know about
Just
this
cracking
weapon?
knuckles.
What do we know about this weapon? What is it?
I don't know. We only have reports, whispers, shadows coming to our ears. We know that it's a weapon dating beyond the memory of almost all gods themselves.
So it predates the Pantheon.
Potentially, yes. Potentially from your era. I don't know if you know more of this weapon.
Oh, really? Give me a check.
Constantly.
15. You know that the Pantheon have not always been the rulers. They're almost like ascended demigods or sort of mortals that have thought much of themselves and cast people like yourself down. And so there are many artifacts, there are many planes of existence that have been lost that can no longer be found. There are many things which are ancient, powerful, and could potentially take them down. It's the exact nature of this. It's in the Shadowfell. Take that from that what you will. But
So, have any idea of what the Shadowfell could have been before the era of the gods, or was this all? Has this always been here?
Roll history check.
Okay. Oh fucker! There we go. 18 and history is intelligence, is that right? So 23.
Okay.
Sorry, 29. I haven't proficiency.
Okay. The Shadowfell has been a plane almost as long as the planes have existed. It's traditionally been ruled by shadow creatures and many kind of undead have kind of gravitated towards there. It's been a strength of power for them. This particular place that you're going into now, it does almost seem as if it grows out of the ground itself. It's been, if it's not part of the Shadowfell that has been grown here almost, then it dates back a long, long time.
Could I like see how? Is this magic? Is this like? Can I feel magic or anything? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, does this look? Does this look like off the Pantheon? Does you know? What I mean, like,
Not necessarily of the Pantheon, but it's certainly not natural.
Okay.
The way you're looking at, I mean, even from this distance, of say like a mile, half a mile, you can see that the stone isn't just regular stone. You can see that the structure itself is of a material you've not really come across. It's it's not natural even for the Shadowfell.
Okay. I believe there's a weapon
It's better not be a trap.
This is ridiculous.
there. If the orders come from Lady Zariel, then I'm going to follow.
If we don't know what's in there or guarding it, why are we waiting and making a plan?
It's because we don't know what's guarding it.
But then what's the point of our plan? If we don't know what's guarding it, how can we prep for it?
Well, we
Surely barreling
It
in.
is a bit odd that we didn't have this conversation
I think-
before we got there.
Or standards.
we should just barrel in and figure shit out.
The God of the
As it
Shadows
comes up.
was rumoured to be present here, or at least have some sort of manifestation.
There are some rumors, but I don't know. This god in particular.
They're the ones that maybe that's the reason for it. If so, how do we get that?
Okay.
I know you'll have a force of many treants mainly that will be that have been guarding the walls, and that's what we'll need to overcome to gain entrance to the start of the campaign. From there, I don't have any idea.
Alright, lead us to this entrance.
Let's go.
I'm going to cast non-detection on myself.
Non-detection.
I'm
So
gonna
that
rage.
people can't detect you.
Yes, no people can scry my location or shit like that.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say they see you coming.
Yeah.
He's crouched down.
Yeah. They never know we're coming. The zombies are just there for fun.
Hands in the face.
Small green
Three stealth.
version of the wolf.
Yeah.
This is moving.
Yeah, okay. That seems good.
You can see as the army is marching forward, it makes maybe 200 feet from the outside of the wall. These great flaming balls of pitch are catapulted over the edge, just barreling into the ranks. The skeletons are just their bones scattering, and then moments pass before they start to knit themselves back together and crawl back together. Zombies, limbs missing, just drudging forward. The march is slow. They make it 200 feet, 150 feet, 100. They get to 100, and a deadly ring of arrows starts volley after volley, just raining into the ranks. More and more of these bodies start piling up. Some fall over the edges of this path that kind of leads up. It's kind of these sheer cliff faces. It's a well defendable position, and you lose most of the army doing this. As you get to 50 feet away, or the start of the army gets 50 feet away, these traps spring up, 20 feet wide. They're almost like huge bear traps, which just snap shut, killing hundreds at a time, knocking others off. You start seeing huge rocks just being pushed out from the gates, and they start just barreling down this path towards you. You can all avoid with ease. Up on the walls, you can see shambling treants, huge plant creatures, trees, Feywild creatures, servants of the Pantheon. Traitors. Yeah. The force that Lady Zara is leading takes point. She points you to a section of the wall and says, "This is the weakest," and it's on the kind of on the right side when you're coming up. Said, "Attack here. This is where you'll get over."
I start my
How far away is the wall at this point?
100 feet.
Okay, in that case I can start attacking.
Okay. If we're gonna start doing that, let's roll initiative.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, great.
Great start.
Oh, yeah, he's got natural ones.
Right. Sorry, I was like, what do you mean? Right. 25 to 30.
I like how that's included.
I mean, it's like
Yeah,
20,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, your initiative's like a billion, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 to 25.
Ooh.
Oh. 15 to 20.
19.
Thank you, Apollinaire. Okay, that's right.
18.
15.
I got 14 as well.
8.
Yes. You'll let us, like, sponge go in first.
No,
And you can come in
minutes
as
or
well.
something.
Thanks for that. We always collectively appreciate it.
I got a very juicy thing, but I don't know if I should.
Don't waste your
I like to
spells
say,
on the wall.
don't go too ham.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
wall.
You can if you want.
Oh, shit.
Dude, if
You
I do what I want,
clear basically everything on top.
Is it a wall?
Spell slots to
Like,
use.
is it a genuine
One
a
of
stone wall?
It is a, for lack of a better or more informed phrase, stone wall that goes up about 50 foot with 14 just giant tree creatures sitting on top that are lobbing stones and various things, and they turn their attention to you as you get quite close to them. Top of the round, Apollinaire.
I'm going to try and target one of the creatures nearest to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to blast it with my pistol.
Yeah.
See if it. So that's 17 plus 10. So I presume that hits. Why don't you roll all the each shot first?
Yeah. And then next up it's Mitchell.
13.
Nope.
20.
Yeah.
23 again.
Yeah.
And is that 3?
That's 4.
4. Okay.
That was fine.
So I've got 3 shots.
Mm-hmm.
This will take some time. So the first shot does 14 plus a d6.
We specified what elemental damage you
Yeah, fire.
Mhm.
14 plus the 3 elemental fire damage.
Okay.
That's the first shot.
Mm-hmm.
Second shot is 8 plus 3 elemental fire again.
Yep.
Third, 13 plus 6 elemental fire.
6 elemental, did you say?
Yeah.
And what was the first one? It was, you said 6 elemental and
13. Yeah, 13.
might just use calculator.
Oh,
Figure out the
yeah.
math of the fucking thing.
Sorry.
God damn it, you guys are so powerful. I never thought this would happen.
Wait until he finds the hammer and does 8 shots on one round. Reload bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that.
Right, do you move? Or do you stay the 100 foot back?
Yeah, I'll stay at the limits of the range.
Okay. Well, at this range, you've seen that they've been throwing stuff, so it's likely they'll be able to hit you at this range, but it depends whether you're firing on forward or waiting until you clear them out.
Well, I'd rather probably
Stay back.
stay back
Yep.
and fire before.
Mitchell, and then it'll be your turn.
So
Or sorry, Malevolent.
thank you. So we're kind of like storming the place.
Yep.
100 foot away.
Yep.
They're coming down on us. Are we running with demons or devils on our side?
You've got a kind of force behind your back. There's a couple mechanical creatures that you know come from Apollinaire.
Flying flying creatures on our side?
Yeah, you've got some flying creatures. You've got some screaming banshees.
Right.
They fly, right?
Okay.
Do now.
Yeah, you could just because I'm going to cast fly. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't obviously the only person flying.
Sure, yeah.
I'm a wizard!
So yeah, I'm going to cast fly, and I'm going to just start ascending at like 45 degrees towards the
Okay.
and the thing, and I'm
Okay. What's your flying speed?
fly speed 60 feet.
Okay, so you're 40 foot away.
Okay.
Cool. Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Next up, Vilt, and then it'll be Cordra.
Okay, I'll just use basic Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah.
4 beams, I'll target 4 separate creatures with them,
Okay.
rather than focusing all at once.
Oh, I should add, Apollinar, your damage was great. The bullets hit them. You saw those kind of flashes of flame linger somewhat and appear to do perhaps some extra damage.
Okay, so 4 separate attack rolls. 11 plus. Spell attack bonus 11, so 22. 23.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
16.
Just it.
Okay, so each one will take 1d10 plus 6 force damage and get knocked back 10 feet, hopefully falling off the wall.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
I'm
I like it.
The first one is 8 damage. Second one takes 14 damage. Third one, 9 damage.
1 second, sorry. 14.
Third one took 9 damage. And the final one took 13 damage.
Warlord.
Do they have to make a save to get?
No saves.
Holy
Just-
shit.
Just basic force damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, Skittles.
At this point, I'm not using it for the damage, but for the knockback.
Yeah.
Do you see the Yeah, this is interesting.
That's fantastic.
You see the hits, and they don't hit hard, but you can almost from this distance see as it impacts the kind of the force of them getting moved back, this kind of invisible hand which is punching them in the gut. And the wall itself is 10 foot across. Now they're right on the edge, so what they're going to do is see whether they can stay. And 2 of them, you see just... you see them almost like one and then they just go... and you don't see them. A moment passes, and with your keen... Make a perception check for me.
Perception. My perception. I forget which one is perception.
It's in alphabetical order.
Yes, that is so only plus 2. 4. I don't think I see anything.
You don't see nor hear anything. But you can imagine they make a hilarious thud.
By the way, what do you look like at the moment?
You.
Okay.
Did you say you?
I'm a changeling. I'm constantly shifting forms.
Oh,
At the
so
moment
you're...
he's mimicking me.
Ah,
So
right.
it looks like there's 2 of me.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I was like, why do you look like a tree?
Yeah.
You're just like, I am a blonde girl. Hello.
A strange one.
Standing there, I was like, this is rather pleasant.
Joint backstory going on here.
Some slight metagaming. Right, okay. So there are now 12 targets on the walls. Next up is Cordra, and then it will be... I have got a something Shan. Remind me? Ari Shan.
Ari.
Alright.
How far away from the wall am I?
You're 100 foot.
What, just directly forward? Or from where we're aiming?
We're running towards
We're running towards the wall.
Yeah, you're running
Oh, I
towards the
thought
wall.
we were running at an angle like
You've
that.
kind of broken off from the force, and you're trying to get from the
Right,
side, hoping that's less defended than the rest of the wall.
Well,
which
I can do
appears
it
to be.
currently, so I will just barrel towards it. I can move 80 feet.
80.
Yeah, 40 from normal and then 40 from being an orc.
Yep.
And did you say, can I still see any of the treants?
You'd be able to see the top.
I'm like 9 foot tall, so I have a better angle for seeing.
My Pythagoras isn't great, but I'm going to say that yes, but they've got half cover at the moment.
I will launch a couple of javelins then.
Okay, go for it.
Because I'm still 20 feet away from the wall, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll hit. I'll do the 31. And I'll do the second one just to 24.
Yeah.
5, 6. So I did 28 damage.
Yeah. Are you aiming for anyone in particular?
There's only 2 in there. I'll aim for the one on the right.
There's 12 on the wall.
Oh, right, 12. I'll just aim for one of the ones that he. I won't notice. Just do it randomly.
Just do it randomly.
On the same time.
12.
Yep, cool. So you did 28, yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
I have
Nice.
11 to them.
That's like an average fireball.
Yeah. So javelin,
And
you
then
just
I'll pull out my big old heart cleaver.
heart cleaver.
Yeah, it's back from this way.
Nice. And you see these the javelins just embed themselves at the top. You really only can see from maybe like the upper chest on. The rest is covered by the thing, and you just see them impale on it, and these making these weird grunting noises.
I'll stand up and beat my chest to try and get their attention on me.
Okay. Noted. And you're raging at this point, right?
I am. I started raging as soon as you said like move out. I was like rage.
Yeah. I don't know if you were joking.
It's like a little bit depressed. Angry.
As soon as we're out like the war council, where it's like rage.
Yeah, right. Do you have endless rage time?
I do.
Yeah, cool.
It only ends when I decide it does.
In 10 hours time when we finish this session.
Yeah, fine. Sure. I'll be raging for the rest of this.
Try and do
now, if we ever stop for a break, I'll be pacing.
Try and do something. God, I hate this.
Ari, shine her up, and then it's
I
in
hate apples.
I'm just going to keep heading forward.
there.
I can't really do much tactical thing.
Alright, what's your speed?
Then,
So you can go double that, so you can go 60 foot, yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
just get myself ready.
So you're now 40 foot away from wall, and you can see just a little bit behind you, above you, is a flying figure of this guy, Malevolent. But yeah, you're on the ground. Going forward. Anything else you want to do? Anything? Ember, you're up.
So just purely hypothetically, if I were to throw a fireball at these guys, how many could one hit in a 20-foot radius?
20 foot radius, 40 foot, you would be able to hit.
4 of them?
I'd say you'd be able to hit 6 of them.
Okay, well, in
40
that
foot
case, could you have 6 of them roll a dex saving throw each?
Oh my lord.
I sure could.
If they fail this, it's going to.
From 100 feet, you just see this big, like,
Yeah.
My character's just going to see this like little red bee, like, what that?
Once you fell down, you're like, I was so lucky.
Thank God.
Okay. 6. What do I need to beat?
Oh, you need to beat 20.
Oh my.
16, 1, 3, 7. Actually, none of them can physically do that. They're not the most dexterous.
Okay, right.
So they all fail.
Oh, wow.
I think I have enough d6 to make it
Slash and burn.
Is it
Or-
8d6?
1,
Maybe 6 for third
2.
level.
Can I have 2? 3.
Yeah, I've got
I've got
more
one,
here.
yeah, just as good
Thank you.
as quickness.
Okay.
What kind of damage
Ones count as 2s,
straight
and
up.
if I
Yeah,
for as many max ones I roll,
Not
I can roll an
magical,
extra one.
Oh.
I rolled 3 6s, so that means I can roll 3 more.
Oh! Wait, what are you at so far?
Okay, hang on.
And
I'm
then,
at
and then
Give me a
5,
number.
10, 14.
This is actually a 2.
Yeah, 16, 18, 24, 30,
So you're at
36,
36.
and I can roll 3 more.
36 damage so far.
36.
Holy shit.
Oh,
And
another 6.
Another 6, so I roll another one.
Wait, add those 3 on first.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So 36 plus.
42, 46, 48, 52.
I think they might die. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Was that like a nuke?
That was a
On
regular
the
fireball.
That's wild magic sorcerer.
Alright.
And were you targeting the ones that had already been targeted, or were you targeting us?
I'll
You know, if you
be
had
honest,
14
I'm
lined
just
up.
going right down
Right center?
centre
Yeah,
and
like that.
hitting as many as I can.
That's probably sounds right.
It's a combination of wild magic and also I'm an elemental adept, so when I roll fire damage, if I roll a 1, it counts as a 2.
Overall
Plus they're
resistance as well, so-
trees.
So when we actually see the wall.
Yes.
Crap.
Yes, so you
Yeah.
see it's this tiny red beam that's barely, perceptible in the arrows and the rocks and the screaming, and you barely see it. Most of you don't even notice. What you do notice is when you see this flash of red suddenly expand like a supernova, which envelops 6 of them, and just these writhing creatures. It's this flash of light, and they are writhing. They are not dead, but let's say they're burnt. And they are
not
very much toasty, and also very much on fire. So also actually no. What I'm going to do is I'll track the most damage done in one turn, and then tell you at the end who's won. Just because I find
you
it.
just got this
I'm not
I mean,
Maybe
she's
some
at a great
tweet,
high bar.
but we'll see.
The moment you cast Meteor Swarm, no one else here will beat your score.
You win D&D.
Yes. Not only did you break the creatures, you broke D&D.
You managed to win this.
The thing is, if I am rolling Meteor Swarm and I'm actually rolling, how many dice?
40.
Yeah, and what are the chances of me rolling a 6 each time? Because each time I roll a 6, I roll another one.
Even if you just roll all ones, 40 damage is still
40
insane.
Double her ones count as 2s.
My one's count as 2s.
So minimum 80.
So meaning you could do it was 60, would it? Yeah, the 60 damage minimum on that.
Per person.
I can't do that.
Anyway.
No.
So yeah, on the 14 line, just right in the center, the middle 6 just are engulfed. And they start flailing around immediately, just like something dropped their rocks. It went from before when they were grunting, like and making these kind of guttural sounds, to now just like screaming and wailing. And you can see they're not looking like these are fuck off trees. Like these aren't like just little zombies. These are fuck off trees, but they are very fuck off hurt. And they would like you to fuck off.
I like the terminology.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm very descriptive.
They're
I looked up the dictionary before I started this.
Fuck off there.
Yeah, you did good. However, as then their turns, you start seeing them rallying. There's this almost countdown, and then you just see these rocks fly over the walls. So,
That's about what the right one is.
Yeah.
All aimed at me?
let's say the first 12
just
on the
did it.
wall.
Bring it! You're like a football yard, basically. You just stand there.
Do you know how to swear in their language?
No.
Like, I don't, barbarian, orc, and tree. I mean, it could be similar in Dutch, sort of like grunting.
Okay.
You just speak in the term grunt.
23 in your opponent?
Damage.
No.
Only to hit.
To hit.
hit, sorry.
So, yeah.
Does that hit? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. No, I get to say ask stupid questions. Does 23 hit? That is 29 damage.
Wait.
Holy hot diggity.
It's okay. I still have plenty.
Against you, Vilt. That is a 15 to hit and a 19 to hit.
Yeah, my armor class is 12.
Jesus.
You got very dexterous then.
Time to make armor.
Which is 27 times 2.
54.
Yep. Against you, Amber.
Whatever you're about to say, yes, it hits.
Natural 20.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, they targeted me. I can't blame them.
I mean, she is like a torch, so.
Yeah, I'm difficult to miss.
I'm actually like quite camoed. I'm like really.
Yeah,
I'm dark green on the
Best
verge of
viral.
like ink black colour.
Yeah.
So they just hear a really angry grunting blob when they're trying to target you.
I'm sure as head also like I'm quite demonic looking. I have like
Yeah.
bony protrusions coming out of the back and like
breaking out.
I have like tusks
World of
underneath.
Warcraft sort of thing.
Oh yeah, like a Gul'dan.
That's
Yeah.
50 points of damage to you.
50.
5-0.
It's not so bad for a crit.
So that's the first
We have
four.
crit skill.
Yes, oh yeah.
That's 4, and that's 4 players down.
That's bombs.
Something good for me and you here.
No, it's not that easy yet.
Or 3 players down and 4.
Does
Even
anyone have
better.
any heals?
I have.
Do we start with any
No.
healing potions or something?
If something dies, I can heal
I'm
myself.
curious. I forgot to ask that.
Yeah, I don't even guard to me, Lewis.
I have hit dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say all of you have a superior healing potion.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
AD4 plus 4.
Because I'm like a third of my way through this turn, so. Malevolence
Yes.
is a 18 a hit.
I'm gonna cast shield. Reaction.
Okay,
So it doesn't matter.
so doesn't it? Cool. 2 come for you. Another 2 come for you, Amber. Does 12 hit?
Oh, I might be close.
Yes.
It does?
What is it?
One and a 28 will hit.
It does hit me actually. Sorry, I'm
I
concentrating.
wasn't told that I could have any extra equipment to start
You
off.
get anything from your starting.
Was
round,
that the
which-
ricochet from your shield?
Yeah,
by any
I
chance?
just-
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, it's too late now.
Yeah.
I think you do get.
Oh, yeah.
I was asking if she had leather armour, like from starting
It
equipment.
seems both of us forgot to actually decide on getting ourselves armor.
Oh, you would have armor, yeah.
Okay, in that
yeah,
case, 12 doesn't hit.
yeah, you would go into the battle potential of like
Yeah.
eternity with
Leather's
leather
12
armor.
plus dex.
So the studied leather's 13. Isn't that?
Oh, it's still in leather. Yes, I'm out of them.
Yeah,
Rob said get anything from starting equipment
Yeah.
plus the one magic item evolving.
yeah. Yeah, so you could definitely have leather armor.
Okay, so what would my AC be?
Basic level will be 12 plus whatever your
12,
dex
okay.
is. You have dex?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so I'd be the same as yours if I was also So what does that turn into?
18.
Well, it'll be 12 plus your dex.
24 to you, Malevolent.
Yes.
Not a great improvement.
That's damage. That's for the
Yes.
shield that didn't hit.
Cheers.
And then the one that hit you is
Who?
Ember.
Sponge it.
31.
Okay.
Oh my lord.
This is really good for momentum, huh?
And then the remainder on you, sir.
Yeah.
As you are the one attempting to
How much?
5 or throwing
I've got high AC for Barbarian. 18.
That's.
So 20, 20, 21, 18, and 18.
All of them.
You didn't just stand there going, yes. I think he's
Wow.
actually a masochist.
That's not
Yeah, I'm just stood there. I'm just tense, like, ready for them to just all.
I think we need to change tactics next round.
I mean, he gets to reduce damage by
No,
half,
this
right?
this will not. It'll be a lot, but it won't be.
Can any
Ah,
of
gotcha,
you remember?
gotcha.
Can these things see in the dark? If I were to cast a spell that darkens the area around them, can they still sense us?
I think you just need to
80
roll
points of damage.
On the first one.
I've added them all total.
Or 80.
80. 80.
Somebody else gets
Also
one.
40.
Yeah, yeah.
20-foot radius.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot.
I think we can go the next round, to be honest.
Yeah, just point of context. All that damage there
Yeah.
only did 40 on me.
Okay, top of the round. We have Apollinaire.
5 of them?
Hmm?
Was that 5 of them thrown at me?
Yeah.
Did you roll really bad on damage?
Hmm?
Did you roll bad on damage?
Absolutely atrocious.
Oh,
yes.
really?
Well, if we keep doing that, we'll be fine. We've already toasted 6 of them. 6 of them are on death's door.
2 of them are currently nowhere to be seen.
We've gone from 12
Yeah,
to... We'll call it like 6 left, because the ones that are left are not exactly.
In one round, you'll be fine. Apollinaire, you're up.
Right, I'm going to try and close the distance to half,
Okay.
and I'm going to target, well, at least 4 of them that are on fire.
What's your movement speed?
30.
Okay, so you can go. You'll be 70 foot away.
So yeah, I'll target 4 of them that are on fire.
Yeah.
Courtesy of the Nova Blast.
Yeah.
So that's I misfire, so I can't do anything. So I just stand there. I haven't had a misfire in ages.
That's.
I think as a bonus you can fix your goal. Because of
There's
your level.
there is lightning reroll.
Ah, maybe not.
But
Well, then you can repair it as is it an action or an action? It's an
Oh,
action. It's an action.
it's
to
an
repair
action,
it.
yeah. So
Okay.
can I do that?
No,
Yeah,
unless
next
you spend
time.
your action surge, you'll have to wait until next turn to do it.
Yeah. All right.
Do you have more than one weapon?
I have a rapier.
Okay.
But that's just standard.
Cool. Cool. Bonus action?
I'm just gonna have to wait.
Okay. There's not a bonus action to fix your weapon?
No, it's a whole action.
Oh, interesting.
It definitely is action, but I can't remember at
Okay.
the levels if you got
Yeah,
to
I
repair
think
as a bonus.
Malevolent, and then it'll be built.
Can you describe, so they're the battlements. Can you describe them to me? They're like behind a wall, or how's the?
So they're on top of the wall. So the wall, it's kind of like the ground just suddenly moves. It's something growing up and jutting out of the ground. The wall goes up about 50 feet with an ever so slight overhang. And on top are these 10-foot wide battlements which they're sitting on.
Okay.
There are 12 of them. 6 in the middle are on fire. 2 have been popped off from one end. The one on the far right, which upon our hit before is kind of somewhat smoking, but is okay.
Can I fly to one of the sites?
Mhm.
Just, so the right one has the one that Apollinaire hit.
Yeah.
And what's it, the left again, sorry?
Uh,
Is there a bunch of left?
There's a bunch, and then towards the end is the 6 which are on fire. But yeah,
Okay, so I'll go
towards the left is towards the main group of the army as well, though.
Okay, so I want to head towards that one that's on that side and land on the battlements.
Yeah.
Because I'm 4 foot away. Use 6 foot movement to get up there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to land, and I think I'm going to cast Fireball on that one. Just on that one. Because, can I try and stand so that I can try, so that they're fucking at each other's
They can
fire
envelop
lanes
you.
and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'll be down
Alright.
that, just so there's not 30 of them looking at me. you know?
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I'm
okay.
trying
Were you targeting the?
I'm going to try the one at the left, the one that's smouldering because of.
Did you say fireball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna target the one.
I'm going to try and get 20 foot away from it though.
Yeah, I was
A single target
You could,
with
Yeah,
fire.
you could cast it as you cast it and then land.
No, I couldn't because concentration.
Fireball's not concentration.
The flying
Flying.
is-
Flying, sorry. So you can keep concentration and cast.
And cast another spell.
as long as it's not concentration based.
Fuck me, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
So you don't need to land on the bottom.
In that case, yeah, okay. I changed my mind.
You can hit 6 of them like I did.
What a rookie move. Yeah, okay. In that case, I'm just going to go towards the battlements and aim for a bunch of them.
Cool. Do you want to do the other 6 which were on fire? or
Go for
different
that.
six?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Roll your. Well, no, I roll my.
Yeah, dex.
What's your
19.
19. So they could just pass.
Just pass this one.
You said 19?
Yeah.
None of them.
Okay. So.
So you're going to do 16 damage to me. What?
5, 8, 9, 14, and that's another 4 can do it. It's 4th level. 15, 19, 22, 25. That was abysmal damage.
25?
Yeah.
Another small red beam. Mighty fireball. And this time as the. It's that kind of moment where it kind of goes. And as the almost spherical, like bright white orange ball of fire kind of recedes, there's nothing there. It is just blowing kind of ash. Yeah, you don't see anything. There is now a gap of about 40 foot in the middle, which is now undefended.
Yeah.
Scrape all them off. Nice. Bonus action?
I think I'm just going to stay here floating.
Are you doing it from the 40 feet back that you were?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Next up, Vilt.
Victor, Can you get on top of the wall on your own, or do you want me to levitate you up onto it? I mean, telekinesis you up onto it.
I'm still 20 feet away, so I don't think with that spell I can move forward.
Hold on, I'll check.
Well, I think my hat. I'll be able to. How tall is it?
50 foot.
50.
Yeah.
Right, no chance I'm getting.
Yeah, and telekinesis can only move you 30,
Yeah,
so that wouldn't let me lift you up onto it anyway.
I've got like a grapple.
Don't worry too much about me.
Okay, in
Sorry,
that
you've told us not to.
Don't worry, I have siege attacker.
in that case, I'll just do more Eldritch
So
Blasts.
I'm going through the wall.
Are the two I hit knocked back that didn't fall off still closer to the edge?
No, they'd move forward when they went to throw.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just hit the 4 highest health ones, the unwounded ones, because I'm trying to knock them off the wall instead of damage them. So why waste it on something that's already weakened?
Sure, make a quick perception check. There's a lot going on almost all simultaneously, although it honestly isn't here.
7.
7. Yeah, sure, you can, you think it's the, well, at this point there are 3 on one side and 3 on the other. So we'll go for the 3 on the left and 1 on the right. Yeah?
Okay. So 4 attacks each. First one, 17.
Right, yep.
Next one, 19.
Yep.
24.
Yep.
30.
30, yes.
Okay, damage. Okay, that's 8. 16. 16. And 12. Although no, that's a 9. Is that 9 or 6?
Which one is it?
Which one of these is a 6 and which one is a 9?
That one's a 9 because it goes that way.
Okay, so that's 14.
14?
And again, 10-foot knockbacks.
Yeah.
Which,
So they all, excuse me, make deck saves. That's a natural 1.
Excellent. 0.
Yeah, so again, actually, two of them save, 2 of them go. Then it is the 1 on each end. Just go. So 5. That one. Me. And they're just off the end.
I love that. These giant trees just like, nothing can push us.
It's gravity. It's like
What's to say?
It literally is like shoot stuff. You know, you've got like.
Oh yeah. I've got this massive tree, and it's turning out gravity is
We
the
have
biggest
a winner.
Yeah.
No, I think.
No.
Or fire. Fire and gravity.
Bonus action?
nothing.
Oh, next up is Cordray.
I'm going to move the rest of the movement forward into the wall.
Yep.
And just start smashing away at it.
Smashing at the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have. Do I want to attack?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get natural 20s on this. 26 to hit.
Yeah, it hits the wall.
And 26 again to hit.
Yeah, hits the wall.
Oh, that wasn't good. So that's 10. 2 double. 64 points of damage.
64 points of damage?
I'm just actually double whatever damage go against the wall.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to start smashing away at it.
Yeah. So, first one goes in, and it almost gets embedded somewhat. It seems like this wall almost absorbs force to a degree, and yet somehow it still squeaks in, and it's like you're cutting rock with your axe, but almost slicing it. It goes like directly into it, and you just see these other kind of splinters. You take another, and this time it goes in further. You do it at exactly the same spot, and whole chunks just start flying out. You've made a kind of V of about 5 foot in. But yeah, that's you.
Are you medium size or large?
I count as
by the way?
large.
Okay.
Okay. Next up
So,
I can't
is
teleport you.
Arshan.
Anything in
So
dimension.
is there any?
I can do Dimension Door, but not large creatures.
You could attempt to climb it. Do you have anything that you can?
Can you
Or
cast
do you
dimension
think-
door on other creatures? I thought it
You
was
can take
yourself.
you can take one creature with
Okay.
you,
Your
as long as
size.
they're the
Well,
same
it's
size or smaller.
Okay.
He's just like a little bicycle with a big barbarian
Do
sitting
you want
in
to
the
try
basket.
and help him open the? He's made enough of a gap that you could go and try and do it if you want.
You could go and sit in the gaps when they start inevitably pelting us.
I'll go.
Then
I'll try and
cut
cut
you.
through. 17
Yeah. Yeah.
and 15.
Both out.
5, 10, and 9.
So total 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you kind of go in and you feel like the effects of your weapon are somewhat kind of absorbed, but because of the gash already in this impenetrable wall, the
So 24 strength does feel.
more kind of shards and chunks, and you get like about another foot in.
Well, that's you. Are you stood next to me, or are you going to go in the gap?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Cool. Ember.
I am going to take out my Wand of Wonder.
Oh, that should-
Oh,
Amazing.
God. Oh, no.
I'm going to cast it on. You knocked down some of them, didn't you? So
Yeah.
is there like a little cluster of them?
You've got 2 on the right and 2 on the left.
Okay, I'm going to point out the 2 on the left, and
Yeah.
I'm going to see what happens.
Okay, roll.
Also, I realised I didn't roll for wild magic last time, but I'll just try and remember about that in future. Okay, I rolled 18 for the Wand of Wonder.
Uh-huh.
So that means that I cast Gust of Wind.
Okay.
The glove again.
Okay.
Gravity, it turns out to be.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I did not plan for this. I planned for every wish I thought you could make. Gust of wind. So gust of wind. A line of strong wind 60 feet long and 10 feet wide blast from your direction. You choose from the Swiss thingy. That's must succeed a strength saving throw. Okay.
Against the DC of. Your DC or the one's DC.
I think it said on the wand something.
The DC is 15.
I remembered Cal.
Did you say Cal?
I said, well, I remember when it was 15.
Oh yeah, no, I misread something in here, so
Oh.
that was lucky. I mean,
I am the greatest GM ever.
One succeeds and one fails.
Okay.
Any creature in that line must spend 2 feet of every movement as it moves closer.
They both fail.
Yeah. Oh, or be pushed 15 feet away from you. Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah. Are you target? You said target on the left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the one on the far left is joining his comrade on the end, and the others, when they got pushed back, they pushed and then they wobbled and they went over. This just guy is like, and he's a gunner, and takes, and then something happens back behind you. Go.
Does that mean there's just 2 left on the wall itself now?
Correct. One on the one left, one on the right, and they are going to look around and just kind of enraged and disgust, and also because they don't really know what they can do. Going to chuck, and they're going to go for. One is going to go for Apollinaire, one's going for Cordra. For Vote, sorry.
Are you sure?
All you're doing is hacking away at the wall.
But you're right below the wall.
Yeah, but then if we bust that wall, then they're going to be like...
Yeah, but they probably can't see you. Like,
That's what Iron's
All
a
I've
slight
got
lip.
to do is reach out and drop.
Yeah, there's a slight lip.
you want to just leap over.
I think if you crack me on the head, I'd probably get smarter. I'm not...
It's like, suddenly.
I'm not...
Suddenly, where is our thing?
6.
My god, I can read.
Yeah, put intelligence as my lowest stats, so it's 8, and being or not, you get -2 to intelligence.
That's
6.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Someone's going to cast Feed Your Mind on me, and I'll be fine.
Feel my insight. I just don't rule
When
it.
does that like...
Well, I want to talk. See if the first turn combat you're taking her out. That was really sick.
Stay near him.
Yeah.
So the two. Oh no, I have to roll to hit first. 18 for yourself.
That hits.
Yep, and then 27 for yourself.
Obviously hits.
What's your intelligence?
Um,
It's 20. Yeah. So, and then you're proficient in the saves. So you have a 6, 11, plus 15 to intelligence saving throws.
29
if
for
you're next
yourself?
to him.
Yeah, damage.
Plus
It's going
4
to
and 27 for yourself. Right, top of the round, we have Apollinaire.
Right, I'm going to repair my gun.
Okay, cool.
So,
You have to roll, yeah.
yeah. 4 plus. I can't even remember.
Plus your proficiency, plus your dex.
Right.
So it'll be 14, which is a pass.
Essentially 50%.
Plus my
It's-
dex.
depends
Is
on
that
the
plus
gun.
5?
I'm a bit.
Is your dex 20?
Yeah.
So you've got plus 5, plus 6. So 11 plus 4.
Oh, that's fine.
15. So
As long as it's like over 10.
yeah,
Do
I think
I
it's
try
10
Rachel
plus
give
your
me the
misfire.
sort of pack
Yeah,
of
so like over
temporary
11.
tattoos,
Yeah,
so
cool.
I
Yep.
can just close
I'm
it
going to
and pick the
move.
right one.
So I'm at 70 feet away.
Yes.
Correct.
Right. I'm going to move to.
Sorry, I'm just trying to help.
How much
Which
movement do I
private
get?
prejudice quote
That's it.
relates to this
What class do you
character?
Fighter and I have 30 speed.
And 30 speed, so yeah, you can
Yeah,
do. Great.
Alright, no worries. And I am going to try and use my grapple gun onto the wall.
Okay,
It's got a max range of 50 foot.
okay.
And then well, I roll attack roll.
Yeah, we just reach.
So. Natural 20.
Okay, so it hits the wall. And in this case, I would say, as it shoots over and you get it maybe 5 foot over, and it starts it starts reeling in, and you just see it's barely making like a scratch at all in the thing. This is not regular stone. Did I make that clear?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just scratching. It doesn't seem to be getting any purchase, but then just on the edge of it there, it catches one of the rocks that the treants were throwing. And just sits embedded in that, and you give it a tug, and it feels, yeah, I actually have. I've got this.
No give at all, right?
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, so that was just to get onto it, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It pulls me 30 foot closer to the
Nice.
object, so I'm still sort of dangling.
Yeah, okay.
But if I'm on the wall, I can sort of like repel upwards.
Okay, so I'll say it hits, as it makes that connection, you feel that tug and it pulls, and you swing. Because you're getting angry, you swing. Make a dexterity check for me. See how graceful this is.
So it's 13 plus 5, 18.
Okay. So you swing forward, and you've done this before. Like, you've existed for long enough. And every time there's just a little bit worried that you're going to replicate what happened when you first used this weapon and slam directly just into the wall. Yeah, you spring against the wall, you absorb your impact, and you can now start beginning your way up. So it doesn't automatically then pull you 20 feet up, does it? That's
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
only 30 foot pool.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I've got
cool.
to-
Cool. You're now 20 foot up, or 30 foot up from the ground, 20 foot from the top of this thing. Next, anything else?
Nope, that's me.
Cool. Next up is Malevolent.
So there's just 2 of them left, did you say?
Uh-huh.
Right, okay, I'm just going to fly over to one of them, so I'm about 40 feet above it or something, and just firebolt.
Fireball. Cool.
So, dexterity, take so.
Yep. That's a natural 20, so let's say 19.
Yep, that's it, fucker. That's the best then. So, 5, 8, 10, 4, 7 damage.
7 damage. Nice.
Is Firebolt not a ranged spell attack?
Yeah.
So you make an attack roll and.
Oh, I thought it was dex.
Oh,
Shit,
No,
me.
Firebolt is a.
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
attack.
yeah,
You
right.
have to roll 10.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it's plus 11 to hit.
Probably
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
yeah. but-
Cool.
So just what is it?
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thanks for keeping me right. I'm just got these skills last
Okay, so is that 14 damage? Or
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, it's 14 damage.
Yeah, so you have to. So 14. And as you have noticed, fire does a lot more.
Oh, weird.
So it hits it. Appears hurt. Next up, bonus action.
Nah, 20 seconds.
Okay. Next up is Vilt.
2 Eldritch Blasts to each of them.
I want to get through this wall. There's just going to be like 10 ends stood there. Waiting for this thing to break through the door.
The thing is that heavy are probably going to take at least some fun.
It'll be fine.
I
A
don't
lot of
know.
block
He was rolling some stuff. I think there might be something on the other side that they've landed.
Sure, they might be alive, but they'll be weakened. And they'll be in a choke.
Where'd all the arrows come from, though?
Okay, so...
Yeah.
I don't think the wall was solid. I didn't think it
I
was
just kind of
wall.
figured there were archers
Okay,
on some
so-
of the walls.
I just ran up and hit it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
I didn't
oh,
think
I'd
it was a
actually
wall. They're likely below the wall, because if they're at the other... Well, I presume it's quite a big castle. This thing.
Yeah.
So,
It's like on a mountain.
yeah, so if
so
they can't really fire from the other wall easily if it's only... It's a...
We'll figure out until
Well, you'll
Well,
figure it out.
yeah, that's it. I'll get to see it.
You guys will see soon. Unless you stay the whole game outside this wall.
You could just cast flying as well.
Vilt, what are you doing?
Anyway, so 4 attack rolls. First one, 30.
Yeah.
Good on that.
Second one,
Oh, you
21.
Yeah.
Third one, natural 20.
Yeah.
Fourth one, 22.
Okay, roll damage.
Okay, where's I put my D10? There it is. 7,
Mm-hmm.
10,
Mm-hmm.
15, 8. And a 20-foot knockback on each of them.
20 foot.
Yeah,
I hit
10
them with
for
2
each.
bolts each.
Do they strike at the same time?
It doesn't say, it just creates more beams. You can direct them at the same target or different ones, separate attack
I mean,
roll per beam. It
Both
doesn't-
failed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Taking inspiration from the gust of wind. Oh, pushing even further.
You're going to break through the wall into a
Yes,
forest.
There's only 2. There's only 2 left. Why would I do? Those are just a single blast each.
Yeah, it's somewhat becoming a competition to see who can knock them off the furthest. Currently, 20 foot is winning. You see the final 2 trees just kind of over there. You kind of see them because of the where a lot of you are as well. You're starting to get under it, and the overhang. You just the body just disappeared. That's where they've gone.
I may as well start moving forward towards the wall then. Now that they're all.
Yeah. Okay. So 30 foot movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Next up is Cordra.
I'm going to continue my attempt to break through.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do everything against the wall.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. 21 damage.
If I want to hit.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh,
Oh,
something
no,
good
that's bad.
and short-lived.
That's only 24 damage.
Yeah.
And now I'll do my second. That'll hit. Okay, that hits again. So 21 was the first. No, it would have been 22, sorry. No. 24. 24 damage was the first one. And 34 for the second.
That'll do it. Your first one.
Roaring.
Yeah, slamming away. And we'll stick for narrative. You're just slamming and slamming and
Yeah.
slamming. It's just chunk and chunk and chunk. Some flying behind you. You're like, you got like 1 foot in, and he's just going mad. And with your final kind of swing, a chunk maybe 5 foot by about a foot, just drops out the other side, and you can see now through the wall.
Oh god.
And
I just stood there like, ready?
and all those ends just like hello. Sorry, 3 minutes. On the other side, you see this courtyard of sorts. It's about 30 foot across, 100 foot wide or so. Seems to be some marshalling area, and it is just littered with trees. Some of them are currently down. Some of them are, you can see, appear to be trying to get back up the wall. There's various stairs kind of embedded into the... Oh, you might not be able to see that. There are stairs embedded into the wall. You also see where these trees have landed. They have crushed the people which are residing there, which is a horde of maybe 100. A horde of about 100 sprites, which are just sitting there. The one where the treants have landed, especially one of them, which was on fire anyway, have they're just like burning and they're very much dead. Like these are frail archers, not designed to be sat on by a tree. Yeah, so there's probably now only about 70 of them actually in any kind of fit shape.
You're just peeking through the hole.
And on the other end of this kind of 30-foot corridor, there's this kind of tunnel entrance that kind of goes further into the complex.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to fit through that gap.
5 foot by 1 foot? No. No, you
so
are.
I can plug the gap, make sure no one else gets pelted, but yeah, I'm just going to stick my ass into it. not
Wow.
Cordrack has literally.
That would be a very unusual projectile weapon.
You use your bonus action to undo your trousers, bare your ass, and you're now literally, you have plugged it with your 5 foot by 1 foot ass.
Raging barefoot ass.
Meanwhile, we don't see what's on the other side.
No, you just see your.
I'm going to turn around. I'm going to turn around facing him and say, you don't want to look at me.
So I'm going to do a wisdom check on these guys.
I'm going to make sure my ass is clenched if I'm doing that. What are you going to do?
Interesting. Well, what's really interesting is, Arishan, it's just now your turn. You see just briefly through it, and then now you just see he's now facing you like this, like. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try and make that hole a bit bigger.
Which hole are we talking about?
I'm facing it. In the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is 15.
Make a dexterity check for me as well.
Oh, that's it's not good. 2. Jeez.
Okay. What did you roll to it?
It was 15.
15. Okay. What's your armor class?
18.
Okay. Roll damage for me.
Not bad.
11.
11. Okay.
This is not.
You go and you're trying to hit a part of the weakened wall because it's like this. You're trying to get that, and as you do it, again, there's that kind of almost absorption, and it kind of scrapes along, and you've judged it too far. You've not judged it far enough, and it kind of slides into the edge of his armor. He doesn't get hurt, but the damage is very much kind of reduced, and kind of a small chunk of maybe like this much just comes out on the other end of the wall. You've helped.
I'll probably hit that ding and just went.
Do Paladins get a second
close.
attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can attack again.
It's really close, like looking with the axe in your eye.
11, well, it's 22. In fact.
Yep. Do another dex check for me.
8.
8. Cool. Roll damage.
10.
Yeah. So you go for that kind of same batch. This time not as close to him. I would say just from the shards flying, take like 2 points of damage to 1, like fucking whatever. And yeah, you've widened it by maybe an extra, like I would say like half a foot. So, which just instantly his body just kind of like rolls into kind of just like jelly. It just kind of goes.
I'm trying to protect you.
You're doing it wonderfully. Right. Okay. Nice. Next up is Ember.
Okay. I'm going to just. Yeah, actually, because I don't know what's on the other side. I'm going to dimension door up onto the wall.
Uh-huh.
Can you take me with you?
You could run up there, right?
I mean, I could.
Doesn't sound so keen.
I'm just wondering whether, like, he would have asked me to, and whether I would have thought to do that.
What would you?
But yeah, we've fought together many times. I've run up, grab him, and dimension doors both up to the top of the wall.
So you run 30 foot forwards to catch up because you were hanging back, right?
Yeah, I've also got a speed of 30.
Yeah. So you run forward and you grab him, and as you grab him, and you appear at the top of the wall.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's my action.
It's currently mimicking you, so it's like, I better take myself with me.
Yeah.
And you can see below you a horde of these little nasty creatures with long bows, but these tiny bows, these nasty looking arrows. Somewhat in disarray at the fallen monstrous forms of these treants. Some of them on fire. And just over the edge you can see some fleshy greeny.
Green on the verge of black.
Yeah, kind of thing, some weird thing in the wall.
Don't aim for that.
Yeah, it looks like a really important thing. It might be the weapon. You should probably go for it.
I'm just gonna try and make my hair burn a little brighter, just try and give them a really intimidating glare.
Okay.
Go down there.
What's your base intelligence? Or make an intelligence check.
Okay. Just a straight check.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, you do that, and you kind of look over, and you feel a real rage towards these minions serving their masters.
Can I roll for see if I get a wild magic surge?
Sure, go for it.
That's fine.
And as your as your hair brightens with flame and fury, you take 3 points of damage because she's currently hugging you to dimension door you up, and it's somewhat searing.
I'm like a lighthouse at the top of the battlements. Let everyone know.
Yeah.
Exactly. You are there.
That's what you see.
I am proficient in intimidation.
Okay, roll an intimidation check for me.
Oh, that was 16. I rolled
16.
4.
Yeah, the ones which aren't kind of looking around in panic already look up and again, a language anyone speaks Sylvan? No, I don't think you guys would.
I do.
Oh, you do?
He does.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Aim for the whole.
Yeah. To the rest of you, it's just like almost like a chirping of birds. You can't really make out what they're saying. You can, from the distance, you can briefly make out like run, flee, fear. What's that? Yeah. Next up, it's the treants.
Oh, one's gonna roll a natural 20.
And
literally disappear.
also the sprites. I will be rolling 70 attacks now. So
All aimed at your
Man. It'll be fine.
That was a bad idea.
Oh, well, he's not gonna get hurt.
Well, maybe emotionally.
There's all these arrows just gonna like pink under my ass over the fine, and then one's gonna hit the mark. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
So they just go wide eyed. You're gonna be like, oh no.
What are they doing?
Oh no.
yeah, so there are 4 which have
Poor wording is
make it up the rest of the way to the wall. They've been the ones which were knocked over first have the 2 that had gotten over have started making their way up. They get the rest of the way up the wall and are going to make attacks to you and to you. That is a nat 1 and a 20.
A nat 20 or a dirty 20?
A dirty 20.
filthy 20.
A filthy, you would know.
Okay, are those the ones against me?
I'm starting with Ember.
Thank you.
That is terrible. 13 damage.
Okay.
That's how she gathers the meteors. Just all the rocks come to her. She just stores them somewhere.
And then that is 12 and 21.
Okay, my armor will stop the 12, and I'm going to use Entropic Ward against the 21. That imposes disadvantage on its attack roll.
Okay. 21.
I mean, the chances of you actually blocking it with your armor.
Sure, but it's worth a shot. And they recharge after just a short rest, so...
So the one that hits is somehow even worse. 13.
Okay.
13 points of damage as the first hit kind of goes wild. It's kind of, as it's reaching up over the edge, it kind of slams. You guys move just to the side. And then the second one, it kind of, as it gets all the way up, it second kind of arm comes over and slams towards you. The others are spend half their movement standing up. The four which are down. And then... the four which are down. I'm trying to make sure these ones right. And two of them start making their way up the steps. So they start making their way to the wall. The other two go towards the thing trying to breach the walls.
That's all right. I'd rather that happen than 60 needle-sized arrows just...
Yeah.
One wouldn't get to you, but it's making its way towards you. So with its full movement at dash, it gets to you. The other one, where it fell off the wall, would have gotten to you.
Just got a massive boot.
And so that is a 20 and a 24.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It won't be happening if I go around.
first hit is 13. No, plus 6. 16.
16 damage, yeah?
16 damage in the first, reduced to 8. And then 18 damage, reduced to 9 on the second.
17 total.
As they pummel...
My ass. I'm literally getting inspired by a tree.
Yeah, yep. Roll
And that's
a
Disturbance.
courage connection.
3, sorry.
3.
3.
You enjoy it.
Oh my god, the face he sees, he just made I just suddenly start grinning.
One of shock and then initial like...
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh god. You probably don't want to go in there.
Going cross-eyed with it.
This is why
The sprites I go, and between the fact that this wall that they've been told is impenetrable is being broken apart, the flaming fireballs, the fact that the treants are literally falling on them. The majority of them, they all just start like fleeing in all directions. There's just kind of no semblance here. These are fey creatures, and they aren't generally used to organized combat. Certainly not where they are. Like, they've been recruited. They're not an experienced army. This isn't the main force. This isn't the main anything. This is
one of our zombies and skeletons sort of thing.
Yeah, this is
Fodder.
yeah. They're the fodder, and also the main battle's happening a couple miles away. You're just taking this temple of sorts. These guys are just unorganized and start running off. So it's just the treants that you have left, or rather in front of you. They just all directions start go. Some go into the start running into the tunnel behind. Some of them start just like scrambling on the walls on the right side. Some of them start just like running through. There's another on the kind of left side of this. There's another kind of tunnel which leads into the main complex and the main part of the battlements where the majority of the fighting's going on with Lady Zariel. Lady Zariel, right? Yeah, I'm going to say it is. At top of the round, it is Apollinaire.
Right. Can I complete my ascendant to the top of the wall?
You can. You get to the top of the wall, and there are 2 treants which have just gotten to kind of pull their way up onto the top.
They're falling again soon.
Are they in line with each other? Like,
They're on either side of these 2, who are currently kind of not quite hugging at this point, but are right next to each other. And
strange scene.
Vilt is somewhat kind of like the flaming beacon of Ember's hair. What do you do? Is that your action to get out of the way, or just your movement?
No, well, just the movement, just confused.
Yeah, cool.
I'm going to use the pistol right on like their hands or equivalent branches, whatever they're trying to use. Just to kill them.
Sure.
Well, yeah, just try and make them fall off. So
they've pulled themselves up onto it, so they are properly on the. Yeah.
All right. Nothing really changes in that regard then.
Still go for there.
That would be 18.
Yep, that hits.
Misfire. So one shot.
Get them all out of the way now.
Oh.
Wow. This is not interesting.
If I action surge, can I
You can repair it
like
with that.
field repair really quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna action surge and.
Okay, roll to repair. Well, roll damage.
Okay. So that's what 7 plus 5, so 12, and 2 elemental fire. So
Okay.
14 and 12 and 2 fire.
Yep. Mhm.
And the repair. 8 plus dex.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pass.
that's fine.
Okay.
Right. So.
Bonus action.
I'm going to move away from the tree
Okay.
that I just shot and
Yep.
blew my gun in my face.
It does get an attack of opportunity as you do that. That's 18 to hit.
That hits.
Yep. I'll take that away. That's 16 damage. Right, next up is Malevolent.
Cool. So I'm still like 30, 40 foot above
Yeah.
the wall.
Yeah.
And the 2 treants, they've just gotten up.
Yeah.
Those ones. I'm probably just gonna throw a cheeky fireball at them.
We're right next to them.
Oh, yeah, shit, you're still there. Well, I mean, you'd be okay.
Resistant to
She's
fire, I'm
fire
not
resistant.
immune.
I'm just impersonating her. I
You're
don't
level
have
20,
fire
so you're-
resistance.
Okay,
level
yeah,
20, you probably
okay.
can position it to not.
Well, yeah, I could have positioned it to not to hit them. Would that be possible? Or?
Do you have
No.
this? Do you have the spell ability? Never mind then.
No, there wouldn't.
Right, okay, so in that case, I'm just going to go for another even cheekier attempt at it.
Okay.
Which way?
Throw an hand over.
Oh, yeah. 27 to hit.
Yep.
Dang, 12, 19, 23. 25 damage.
Is it more damage
On-
than the fireball than the fireball?
Yeah, I did. And that was level 4 as well.
Yeah.
And the right one. I don't care which one.
The right one is now the wrong one. As it this time less impressive as before, but the flames just kind of writhe in it, and you can kind of see those legs are just made up of these huge kind of thick branches, and you kind of see it almost like burning from the bottom up to the top until it just kind of fades to ash and blows off partly off the wall and partly just like into feeding the flames of your flaming friends. Amazing. Bonus action?
No, I'm just going to take a small moment to look around at the splendor of absolutely everything. Just
And then
smell the battle,
Yeah.
smell the burning trees, and then ask me.
You look before you. It kind of like it's like a multi-tiered stronghold before you.
Minas Tirith.
Kind of like Minas Tirith. Yeah. And
That's badass as shit.
Or maybe the Minas Morgul, the black one.
Yeah, Minas Morgul, yeah, that's like the greeny black one.
Definitely Lord of the Rings, This D&D game.
Yes.
it's to your left is where the main battle is happening. You can see that some people have started making it over the wall. They have these large metallic ladders that you saw them kind of carrying up. And you can see just coming overhead this kind of dark shadow that's kind of coming across the sky, kind of in your direction.
What's happened with the cannon fodder for our section of the wall? Our own cannon fodder.
They didn't want to throw. So you had some reinforcements that were kind of coming up behind you, but you didn't get the same kind of like zombies and all that kind of stuff. They were mainly trying to focus that on that, and they're still behind you, and they've kind of been firing off pot shots, but they're pretty shit. So
Wasn't really expecting it.
And the black thing, and I don't know if that's good or bad.
you have a bonus action left, right?
Yeah.
Make a quick perception.
Okay.
Perception check with disadvantage.
Got a feeling it might be
Natural one.
excellent.
It is.
Smells so great.
You know how we look up in the material realm and we look up the clouds and go, that looks nice. That looks like a turtle.
Yeah, I can see
It's
something
kind of like
there.
a Shadowfell version. You're like, oh, I think it's apple pie.
Okay.
It's just a cloud. Definitely nothing to worry about. Next up is vote.
Fast time.
Eldritch last time. Okay, 2 for the ones still in the wall, and 1 each for ones climbing back up.
Okay.
Do you have any other spells?
You don't
Of
need
course
them
I do,
for-
but why are you trying to use them?
Okay.
Gravity will do the work for me.
Interesting question. Do you want to hit them all onto the one side, or the 2 which are on, which are up on the wall? Do you want to hit them back where you've just come from?
Didn't one of the ones up in the wall just die?
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. So there's 1 up on the wall with you, and then you're gonna go
Oh, 1 each for 2 that are currently climbing up to try and get back onto the wall.
and 2 for the one.
Currently on the wall with
Yeah,
us.
yeah. And do you want it? Which way do you want it to go? Do you want to try and get it from behind so it goes?
Blasting it off the wall.
Do you want to go into the fortress
Oh,
or blast
right.
it out of the fortress?
Into. That way maybe it'll
Okay.
land on some more of its friends.
Okay, go. Roll to hit.
Natural 20.
That will just about hit.
28.
Yeah.
21
Alison Dark.
and 30.
13 does not hit.
30, not 13.
Oh, then yes.
Just
Okay, well done.
accuracy on that.
I'll get the more words.
7 force damage.
But don't you double it?
Oh, for the natural 20, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that would be 14 then for that
Do you
one.
damage the dice?
Alright, okay. So the first one was 7, the second one is 14, so 21 damage on the first one.
Yeah.
Second blast, 13 force damage.
Yeah.
9 force damage on the third.
Yeah.
And 11 force damage on the last one.
Cool. The first one that you hit, or the first 2 hits are the guy that's on the wall with you, or the guy, just a guy, and he's off. He's away again. And this time, as he hits the ground on the other side, there's just kind of like this horrific cracking, as if many bones and many femurs are being broken at the same time, and it just crumples.
Orphan by crushing them.
It crumples just from within almost, and it's almost immediately reduced to kindling. The kind of facial features, which are weird to look at, are just spread, and you can no longer even really tell that it was anything other than just a fallen tree. The other 2 are knocked back. They're not quite as high up, so they don't take as much damage, but you see them now, they are falling and are clearly being hurt by this. That's them. Cool. Next up, anything else in the section? Movement?
No, nothing else.
Cool. Cordar.
Improvised projectile attack.
They're coming down from the high.
So you've enjoyed this last 6 seconds.
I'm going to take a deep breath. And
It's always advised.
I'm going to say, are you ready to him?
Okay.
I'm going to turn, and can I grab the tree that's been attacking me
Yeah.
and just try and drag him through the wall to throw him to bludgeon?
Yes, I will say, treants are fairly large creatures. They're classed as huge.
Yes.
And the hole that you've made is currently about 5 foot by 2 foot, 3 foot. So you won't be able to get obviously the entire creature, but you'll be able to get. You can attempt to get, a limb.
But
Which limb would you like?
I will grab it and see what happens. I'll let you decide what I grab hold of.
Oh god.
Because I don't give a shit.
I've got knocked for 6. You grab a leg.
Okay. Do I need to attack or just straight to athletics?
Yeah, I would roll to see whether you can. What do you normally do? Yeah, you'd roll to hit.
Roll to hit, 26.
Yeah, so you get athletics.
Athletics, I rolled a 32.
Okay, I rolled a 24.
That's my minimum I can get on athletics.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So
Yes. Okay, so again, and you pull him through. He takes, as you're trying to fit something that is not big enough through this hole, he takes 6 damage. He takes 6 damage, and you now have the hole is now blocked by this leg, and in fact, let's make a dexterity check, and you can't really see it, but the rest of you can. He just oh, just like that. Except he stumbles, and you hear this crack, and he falls over.
Can I?
Sorry.
Can I use my second attack?
Sure.
I'm gonna stab him.
Yeah.
Because I'm attacking weapons anyway. So 25.
To hit.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's and so that's it'd be 12 normal damage.
Yeah.
Plus 5 necrotic minus from his maximum health. So for purposes, 17 total.
Just does it. So he
Oh my god! Pull his leg through and just straight through.
Yeah. So you attack with X, and actually the leg somewhat starts to come up. So you do that, and it's at the knee, and you start carving through, and it's just literally hanging on by thread, and much like a tree. If you were to cut a tree in half, it just kind of starts to split and crack, and so you can. Not that you could get through before, but there is now part of the hole that you've made is now visible, and you could try and either squeeze through or make it bigger, and then you have a leg.
That's the end of my turn.
Cool. Next up is Arshan.
I'm sorry. I'm out of way in and blocks it instantly.
Take that in for a minute.
Yeah.
Kick the leg of the tree for a wee bit, and then maybe try and make the hole bigger again.
Yeah.
People put that height, isn't it? So it'll be 17.
It's a really dramatic spanking you go.
Next one.
Huh?
Oh, I need a dex save again.
No, because he's not in the hole anymore.
Eight, so it's 13.
Let's just make the hole bigger, yeah?
You make it bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. This time it's very much weakened at this point. Things have been pulled in and out for better for worse. Yeah, you get in and get another chunk, and this time you've got enough of a space that you could like squeeze through the whole barrel roll through it.
Go through, yeah.
Cool, go through. You've got 30 feet of movement. As you're through, you have a dead body directly in front of you, this kind of dying, rasping tree there. You've got another one directly to your right, which has just made it and looks like it's about to hit. And then you've got some more kind of climbing, or that just hit the ground below.
Can I use my second attack to hit that one?
100%, yeah, go for it.
14? Oh, 16.
16 just hits.
Oh, perfect. So it's 9 normal damage and then 1 radiant damage.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so they're all looking pretty beat up at this point. They've been burned, battered, they've fallen off the battlements far too many times to be counted. And so he's looking bad, but it's not good yet. Next up is Ember.
So I would like to do another fireball,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to just try and hit as many enemies as possible within my 20-foot radius.
Yeah, so you would probably be going for... Do you want to be going for aiming for treants mainly and then get as many sprites, or literally just max things you can go
Treants
for?
mainly, but I would just want to hit as many things as possible.
Okay. So yeah, I would say it's the... One of the treants is fallen off to the right. That's been knocked off again by Mr. Knocky Knocky. And not the good Italian food. Has fallen, and some of the sprites have been running that way in the attempt to get up of the wall and exit to the right of the stronghold. So you could probably get the treant and maybe like, I would say 20 sprites with a 40-foot radius.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, go for it.
For 2d6s.
Help yourself.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and dex saving throw, they've got to beat 20.
Okay, well, neither of them do.
Okay, I didn't roll any 6s this time.
The one
so-
turns into a 2.
Yeah, so that's 5, 10, 15, 17, 19, 23, 27, 30 damage.
The treant is just, he's lying on the back, and he's the dog in the flaming house at this point. He's just like, everything's fine. Just as the fireball hits him dead on in the face. And if a tree could look shocked, it looks shocked. And half of his body as the fireball kind of recedes, and there's that kind of almost pop of air as the air kind of rushes back in to fill the vacuum. You just see like half of a body from maybe like the waist downwards. The rest of it is just immediately turned to ash, and the sprites had absolutely no chance. And they are just, at this point, they're seared bones. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just, you almost hear the tinkling as lots of tiny little bones just hit the dust.
So how many treants are left at this point?
At this point, there are 3.
There's the one that you've just engaged.
Yeah. Which is looking rough.
The one that I just had hold of is dead.
Yep.
There's one under the wall.
That got killed. I only have 3 left with hit points, so I'm gonna guess that unless I missed one, that we just got the 3 left. So you've got the one that was still going for you, and then the 2 that had been coming up the wall that you knocked down again at about halfway. Yeah, it's at this point that you hear this kind of whistling, this kind of. I was all over myself. I'm dedicated to my art. It's these lightning bolts which hit bang, bang, bang. These 3 treants left from the shadow that just streaks across the sky. They should be fine. Yeah. None of them will say the exact. And you see now as something streaks down towards you, it's this chariot of darkness. And astride it up at the top, you see the faint form and you hear the familiar voice of Lady Zariel as she shouts, "For the Alliance!" Which is like a horde member from World of Warcraft, but it's saying it for the Alliance. They're just these lightning bolts which reduce the remaining treants to dust, and she just rains a spell, a barrage of other kind of cantrips down on the sprites. The treants are all gone. The sprites are running in all directions, screaming. You can hear the sounds of other battles raging on. You can hear a couple kind of whimpering ones as they're trying to get over the mental shock of seeing an orc's ass, which is something
That is the most horrifying thing. Isn't it?
they've come from the Feywild. That's a beautiful place, and they were not mentally prepared for this.
The Feywild's mostly green. I'm mostly green.
Yes,
And
and that's where the resemblance. You see before you, this huge gathering place, and at the far end, this kind of tunnel leading further inwards, and Zariel kind of flies overhead and kind of motions and for you to proceed further in.
I was barrel it over.
Yep.
I think
I'll fall as well.
Yep. Guys on top of the wall, you just.
I'll use Ascendant Step to cast Levitate on myself for freedom to descend that way.
I'm going to use the stairs.
Cool. So you all begin like charging in. You just like float, and you just.
I'm so flying.
1 second. They kind of like zigzag up the side of the wall. They're kind of like in the side of the wall. So you're just like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna make sure that this is like uneven stairs.
Oh,
I'm
he's
gonna
like,
make sure like
1 second, guys.
Trip.
Yeah. No, it's very
I'm
well.
actually quite fast like that. I should go like 20 feet.
You'll make it to the other side, and you go through. And as you go in, it's this very, very dark tunnel. Only lasts about 5 foot. It's another kind of section wall. It's very much Minas Tirith, very much a stronghold where it's broken up into sections, so that if you lose one section, you can move on to the next and hold another and another. As you move into it is very much on the outskirts of this stronghold. It's definitely not the main kind of thoroughfare. As you kind of go in, it's this very circular area, and in the center of it is this hole. It's about 20-foot radius. Half of it is covered by this great stone marble, almost plug, and it's just half of it, and it's kind of lying off to the side, kind of half on, half off, and you just see it's just this black kind of hole straight into the earth. And Lady Zariel from above says, "In there, this is the start of the." I don't know, I'm freaking spitting over. I'm so sorry. It's what Shakespeare actors do. So, yeah, it's what he spits on.
Maybe she spits when
I'll
she
say
talks.
maybe
You're
she's-
just being in character.
Yeah, I'm
This isn't
being
being
very much in character.
I'm nervous.
So I've been nervous eating for the last hour. So, and yeah, and she points into the hole and good luck.
So the hole's open.
Yes,
I'm straight in.
half of
I
it
just-
is. Yeah.
You just jump.
You jump.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, cast, something like Nuki object or something.
She said it was in there. I'm like, can I?
I'm gonna like actually use
I'm gonna
do like a
grab
check just to
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
Like, we've got torches on us, like just like random.
Sure.
Yeah. Starter equipment.
I've also got
I'm
Devil's
gonna light it
Sight.
on her hair, or just her, and then throw it down.
Slightly offensive, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Do you
useful
just
to ask
you just
first.
retreated it with a fire?
I'll throw it down.
Throw it down to see how far it goes.
Okay, so
At least I can see what's happening. I'm like,
so this is what happens. So you make sure you shut the shut the door. Shut the door. So this is what happens. You all rush up to the hole, slightly behind. You wait for it to catch up, light it, and as you throw it, our dear friend Cordra jumps in, and you can just see falling next to him. And if we apply gravity there, and principles, you could probably tell me where they fall at the same speed.
one might go out because of the wind rush.
Potentially. It depends how far you fall. And what you can see is a spiral staircase, much the same way that much the way that the steps were built into the wall. They seem almost like part of. They just go round the outside of this vast 20-foot hole.
Like he's going down the
Are
spiral
you
down.
screaming or something?
And you're going down the
I'm
center
raging
of
on the
it.
way down.
Yeah.
You need
Oh,
quiet.
jeez, man.
When you hit the bottom of this 40-foot hole, you take 23 points of damage.
That's fine.
That's fair enough.
Reduced.
Yeah, so.
And you've learned to read.
No.
And you feel your back break against an uneven surface that you've kind of landed on. And at the bottom, you just see briefly, you see the light, and it just like extinguishes as it hits the bottom.
I can't see shit! I don't know if that echoes up. I don't know how far I fell.
It was about 40 feet. You look up and the walls here are made of that kind of weird, bizarre stone that the rest of the stronghold is made of, so it very much kind of almost sucks in the light, but you look above and you can just make out the faces of your comrades, the kind of flaming hair of well, technically two of yours, and a vague, inky grey kind of pallor of the
it's
sky.
just my hair that's actually fire. Yours just looks like fire.
I don't actually know how accurate.
Are we doing dark vision in this?
As in,
I would have dark vision.
Then yes.
Can I see any vague shapes around me?
Yeah.
I want to look around and see if there's anything barreling towards me.
Okay. Yeah. No. As you kind of sit up and kind of look around you, you've landed on another large chunk of stone, and it appears to be the other half of the plug that was at the top.
But it cracked a bit more now.
This thing's huge. Like, this thing at the bottom is broken very much into smaller pieces than the half chunk up at the top. But yeah, it's like 10, 15 foot thick, kind of just chunks. With this kind of like decorative scene that you can't really make out much of at this point unless you want to sit and look at it further.
I'll grab that torch that came down and then I'll do like that.
Yeah. And you see that there's an exit to this. It kind of spirals down and then naturally leads on.
Is there anything else in here? Or is it just an exit?
No,
To what?
it's just an exit. You get the sense that this wasn't going to be any sort of struggle or anything. It's just
There's nothing down here.
Are you telling us?
Me. I'm down here. There's no one else.
Oh. Hey, can I cast locate object? Well, actually, do I know enough about the weapon to try and cast locate object? But it just says describe an object that's unnamed, an object that's familiar to you.
Yeah. You have no idea what you're
We
looking
don't
for.
even know
No,
what it is.
so that's what I'm saying. So I
You're
don't know
not
enough
familiar
about.
with
Just
it.
like
weapon.
powerful object.
Yeah, I'm like.
No, is
No,
there?
I don't know.
You know it's a powerful weapon. You
Yeah.
don't really even know
Anything about it.
whether it's
It's
what
what
it is.
I used to pass on a couple. A couple. Yeah.
If you want, I could try using contact other plane to ask my Far Realm owned patron about it, but there is a chance I would go mad when casting
Yeah.
a spell.
Yeah, maybe
That's a bit unfortunate it happens so early.
Madder.
You can certainly try.
That'd be.
So I would advise not doing this unless we really need it.
Well, is
Really
the
want
room
to
that
know.
we're upstairs? Is any defining feature at all? Like anything on the wall, like murals or anything?
So you're not in a room as such as in like an open courtyard with a hole just in the middle. The only thing that's really worth looking at this point is the half of the plug that's up at the top here.
Are we really going to move on and discuss what we're going to do next without making fun of him for just jumping down? 'Cause I feel like we need to go on
To
that.
be fair, you'd all probably like, it's probably fine. Just out of game. I don't think
some slight warbling
even taking max damage from falling, I can't die.
Oh really?
It's like throwing the gauntlet down.
So I think it's
Yeah.
100 d6
Like,
is
I'm
the
invincible.
max fall damage you take.
Alright, yeah.
So that'd be 600 half is 300, so I'd still have 78 hit points left.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I
And
guess
it'd probably be a massive
I
crit.
do we
I can
we
take. I just levitate down.
head down.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
I'm
use
gonna
the
fly
stairs.
down.
Yeah, I'm going to use the
You
stairs.
use the stairs? Okay.
I've still, my spell is active for a full 10 minutes, so I may as well use
Haven't
it all.
used
Yeah,
it because I
that's
actually
still
see the
fine.
steps as well.
Who's the first one to land?
Always one human who can't
Obviously,
see
obviously me, but I mean, who's next
It
now?
would be Vilt that gets down.
When I get down, I examine the plug.
Fine as
My
well.
devil sight lets me see normally in darkness.
Okay.
It's lit up currently, I've relit the torch, like, that I have. Well, that he got down.
Make an investigation check.
Investigation.
Who's next now?
I think
Natural 1.
Okay. This thing is the one at the top. Perhaps you could have looked up more if you so desired. The one down here is just chunks of stone, and the way that they've landed, you can't really piece together. You're just like, shit, jigsaw's never mind. Yeah, that makes sense.
I offer someone the torch.
I guess I'll take it. I need
And
it.
I go back to two-handed and begin walking towards the door.
Okay. I'm still flying, but that much off the ground.
So arms folded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really flat.
Walking behind him. Okay. Cool. So you make your way through into the next room, and what you see before you is a pillared shrine room. 4 great pillars, which have a variety of skulls and tributes to what you guys would recognize as the goddess of death herself, Umbra.
Is she on our team?
Huh? No,
The
she's part of
gods
the.
are not
Oh,
on our team.
I'm going to knock the head off the statue.
Okay.
Wait,
They're somewhat built into the columns. They're kind of like carved.
Oh, they're
in
everywhere.
and- Yeah.
I'm just going to spend my entire time whacking all these statues.
Whack 'em up.
In the center of this room is this vast stone bowl, maybe 5 foot across by 5 foot, and as you kind of make your way over to it, you see there's various bones and other such things in the center here.
Is there a liquid in it?
Make an investigation check.
This is the paladin,
Oh, right.
That's
So
not
the
actually
god of
bad.
death was banished. I thought she was dead. Right.
15.
Yeah, there's not a liquid still present in it, but there is a staining to this grey surface. A kind of red and brown kind of blood stain.
It's blood.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to say I taste it if I don't know.
Is there
It's
like
iron.
anything on like around the walls of this chamber at all?
And the reader.
Can I ask as part of the investigation, does it look like anything's burnt in there? Or recognize any of the bones as being burnt?
Yes.
Do
Do
it.
it.
Then set on fire.
This appears to be being used as some kind of
Just a big
sacrificial
torch.
offering. Yeah.
What my actual thing?
Maybe we require like a sacrifice to get through, but there's like spritlings out there, right? So we can just throw them in, maybe.
Around the walls, certainly, there's not. They're somewhat devoid of any kind of carvings or scriptures. That kind of on the opposite end of the room that you came into, there's a small table of sorts, just kind of a slab of stone rested on another 2, and there's a variety of kind of scrolls and writings on the table.
And these scrolls recognizable or like so actually before I ask that, again for a second, because I might have misunderstood some of the backstory. So the goddess of death, she was banished by the pantheon. Is that right? Because I thought she was killed or something. That's what death does to her. She was banished.
I don't remember.
So this Umbra, the goddess of death, is one of the rest of the pantheon, these fake gods.
Okay.
These kind of self-important, self-ascended beings that has kind of claimed this as her domain, and people worship her for that.
Would that count as a god to us?
For all intents and purposes, yes, and people worship them as such. And for most of almost everybody in existence would consider them as such. It's just the Alliance themselves that believe these guys to be kind of phonies, exactly. Tricksters, people are kind of preying on the weaknesses of other. There's certainly extremely powerful beings, but they aren't. You know enough to know that there are beings like Arishan once was, who are much more powerful and were there, who created all things. They did not do this. So potentially there was another god of death before this, but you wouldn't.
That's beyond.
She's just taking on the mantle. Over
Yeah.
I just asked one, is there any other doors in this room we're in? Or is it just the one that we came through?
Just the one that you came to.
Well, this is not for me. I mean, we won't stand guard at the door.
So there's scrolls that you said that's on
Yeah.
the... Are they still
Legible,
wrapped up,
if I
or are they legible?
Yeah, no, they appear to have been left almost in a rush. They are, some are open, some are kind of rolled up. They mainly appear to be kind of the speeches and involved the sermons and ceremonies that a priest would have given here. And as you kind of look around the room and the kind of various trinkets which have been left by trinkets, kind of bones, some like flowers and various other things, you get the sense that, yeah, this place has been a place to sacrifice some, remember others. Imagine somewhat the temple in Game of Thrones, the Faces of Many Gods, that kind of very dark kind of thing where people go for a variety of reasons to kind of celebrate or embrace death.
Multi-use temple.
Yeah.
Does it seem, how old does it seem?
This, like the rest of the structure you've been in, make an investigation check.
I would have said as well, as I'm walking towards the door, if you need to head in,
13. The majority of this seems like it was built with this structure, like it was all built in one.
Yeah.
The stone bowl, perhaps not. That was added at a later date.
I searched for anything written on either anything carved on the stones.
On the stones of the walls, the floor, the columns, or
Just
where are you looking specifically in the room?
just around the room in general.
Just around the room for. Okay, make a perception check.
Life.
Yeah.
I'm really poorly in perception today.
You're just kind of looking around like, yep, this is definitely this is where we should be.
The pillar.
Mhm.
Where is it in relation to the room again?
There, so you've got the central sacrificial bowl in the middle, and then you've got 4 columns, kind of framing it.
Can I investigate some of these columns just to see if like, there's anything like relating to the scrolls, like say if part of the scrolls are actually on the columns or something like that?
As if some of the text is replicated on these? Yeah. Make an investigation check on the columns.
See if we're going to join the bad investigation club.
Somebody's got to roll well or it moving.
Or later.
Investigation. Oh,
For the purposes of
what's it?
saying...
Investigation. Well, that's 19.
19. Okay. As you kind of look around these columns, you start kind of at the base and methodically work your way up, and it does appear to be various kind of repeated patterns, motifs, kind of skulls put into that have kind of been embossed in these. And about halfway up the pillar, there appears to be this hole indent into it, and as you kind of look around it, there's this kind of sharp knife edge which seems almost built into the column. It's hidden for sure, as just it could be any of the number of pocketed kind of ins and outs of this column, but you see that this seems to be somewhat significant.
So there's a knife in a hole, just
into the side of the column, facing in towards the thing. And as you look around the other columns, at the part facing in towards the central bowl, there are 4 indented kind of, for better words, holes with knives in them.
so likely some sort of trigger.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Mm-hmm.
Where detect?
Yeah. I'm going to get the exact...
What if it's under the bowl?
Well, maybe you actually require like a sacrifice pass, something like that.
No.
I could lift the bowl.
Well, there's spritlings or stuff upstairs maybe. So.
We generally don't know where we're trying to go right now, do we? We're bumbling around.
My entire thing at the beginning, just not looking for
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
Why are we making a plan for the unknown?
Because if you attack the wrong wall, you might end up just digging a hole into the mountain forever.
I wonder if the pillars are
Let's do that.
Okay. You your spell allows you to see about a depth of 1 foot into stone before, just as a reference. You see very, very faint, almost ley lines, which go from these 4 pillars that kind of spiral down, and on the inside, it seems that in the center there appears to be some kind of almost tube, which goes down and leads under the floor into the base of the stone bowl, and then down, and you can't see. Yeah.
Or some sort of magical mechanism in these pillars in order to see them.
And as you kind of point this out, you kind of you go, is it here where the hole? Does it start here where the hole is?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Why don't you just told me that?
So we're gonna do it.
They're knives. They're like the top. They're like the almost like arrow shafts. They're just like sticking out like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can try and do it if you'd like.
I reckon it's.
I'll just use mage hand and see if I can do it.
Okay, you kind of move it with the mage hand. It just does not give any good.
Okay.
I'm going to run upstairs and look for stairs.
What
language
okay.
is it?
I'm going to try and run upstairs for a spriteling.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
You start in the room.
And pillars?
Who's next? Sir?
What?
Can I hands? Well, are they in like little holes?
Yeah.
Can my hands even fit in there?
You could fit fingers in. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put a finger in.
Yeah, you go, "Ho," and it scrapes up against the these knife's edge, and you feel this strange
Stand there.
feeling all over your body. You feel this strange kind of almost instant lethargy that kind of washes over you, and
Like
blood.
cancel out his rage? Are you still raging?
I am raging, yes.
Yeah, I would say it.
Which I'm just stood around as soon as you whisper, I was like,
I'm
angry prod.
I guess you are taking damage.
They know you're lazy.
I think my rage doesn't end like.
Yeah, but I mean,
You take 2 points of piercing damage, and blood starts flowing from your finger, and it pulls around the base of this kind of knife head, and the knife head just slowly starts to descend, and the blood kind of falls as if it's going down a drain. You just see it kind of.
Okay,
It's
I'm
gone.
going to go from this finger to this finger. Literally, it's going to be around the four.
I say maybe don't do your dominant hand.
Okay.
This is the one that I grip the thing with. So
Yeah. So on the
No,
second, you take 7 points of damage. On the third, you take 11 points of damage. On the fourth, you take.
You're gonna come back down here with a sacrifice.
I know. He's just lying.
Just his dead body.
Really tired.
15
Glad you're
I'm
intense.
so tired.
points of damage.
But I'm still angry.
And I'd like you to make a wisdom save.
Oh no. Look, guys. I'm not good at these. Less than 10.
Yeah. So each time it's like it's sucking part of your essence from you. And you just, it's the first time it's like, oh, like you just stood up a little too fast. And that's just further compounded. And you're now very much exhausted for the next 10 minutes.
See, my detect magic was still going on. That detected any weird magic going on when he was giving his blood. Yeah.
You can detect buffoonery.
Was there any buffoonery?
You would, as the blood hit these points where some of the magic is concentrated, and as you can look, it almost looks like small runes. There's like a small flash as they appear to be activated. You don't see the kind of blood or anything going through the tube, but there's a small flash. And then as the last one is activated, you see right at the base of the bowl, the blood kind of runs up and over the edge of the bowl into the middle, and the blood starts spinning in the center of this bowl, and it spins and it spins, and then the stone bowl starts spinning and spinning, and it just starts to descend down and down, and this bowl and the whole ground around it shakes, and stairway
Is it more than... Oh,
opens
He
up.
jumps down again.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, is it just the bowl going down itself?
No, the bowl and the ground beneath
Right.
it.
Just sit in the bowl. Like,
Yeah.
I was just spinning around, going down.
Just
No,
like
no, I don't
through
say
stone. No. That whole section of floor with a bowl on top of it starts spinning and revealing a much smaller version of what you've just gone through above, below.
No, I'll walk down the stairs this time. Okay. Like a sensible.
I would have held him back because I thought that he was about to fall again.
You would have probably gone with I just
Imagine-
topple over. Oh,
You're exhaustedly shuffling towards the edge, waiting to fall over.
I think it's fly fully ran out by now. It's been 10 minutes. Right?
Say again?
I said fly fully ran out. It's probably been like 10 minutes. Is it?
Is it just sputtering? Just
Yeah, I just fell on the ground and walking like a normie again.
You make your way down, and you walk into another, what appears to be blank room.
I'm tired.
You're very tired.
I was folded.
You could have a red.
At the far end, it just appears to be another wall, literally 4 blank, empty walls. It's maybe 20 foot high. There are faint grey crystals kind of hanging from the walls. You don't really know how. Almost, they just appear to be kind of clinking and off on the edge. But they radiate some sort of light into the room. And as the last of you kind of gets in,
So you'll catch up.
I know, I'm like going up there.
oh yeah, 1 second. Yeah,
Completely unaware of all this.
you get back up the. I mean, we've got far too much to get to, so we get back up to the top. You look around. Some of the sprites had run through this way and tried to continue. When you guys had disappeared, they'd started like kind of creeping back out, and one of them had just got to the top of the hole.
I'm going to use my last climber and try and grab it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need to roll anything?
Yes.
This is probably
Yeah,
the
that's
most
DC 15 squares.
Yeah.
maniacs.
Yeah,
Like
I'm gonna
me,
do
right?
surface
You
of
got it. But what if I just
No.
Weird.
You have grappled a sprite.
Right, so I'm going to grapple towards the
I'm going to attach to the end of the gun.
Yeah. And I'm just going to take the butt of the rapier and
It's like
smack it on
all
the head
kind
with
of
the
sprite.
Okay. You successfully knocked the sprite out. Make your way back down the stairs.
Like,
As you're passing the kind of plug at the
cut
top.
the sacrifice, guys.
As you're passing the plug this time, you look over. It's more clear from this angle because you're on the far side, opposite from where you came in. And it's just this kind of like half of this just big skull face monstrous thing. You make your way down back into the temple, and where the where the bull once was is now just another descending dark pit.
You could probably guess what happened.
Did he jump?
How far was it between that layer and the layer below? Was it another 40 foot?
Yeah.
At the
Well, I'm just going to go down the stairs with like.
You might be able to hear us.
Let's just take this guy with us the whole way
We'll call him
through.
Bob. We'll call him Bob.
I've definitely.
Where are these crystals?
So me and Bob are on our way
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
Where are the crystals? The crystals line the room. There's maybe
How many are
3 on each wall, so 9 in total, or 12 in total. Sorry.
there? Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just throw Bob at them and see what happens.
I'm like,
I was gonna say, can I like wax my blood on them? Just
I mean, they're at the top of the room where the kind of wall meets the ceiling, and they appear almost like they've been like just jammed in at angles. Like somebody's gone, oh, we need a light there.
oh,
I'm just putting it.
I was just like, oh, good work last time.
Yeah.
Poke the sharp thing.
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah,
So is there nothing else in this room?
doesn't appear to be. Until as you walk in, it's maybe been 30 seconds to a minute, closer to a minute. I'm just kind of. I mean, is there anything you'd want to look around the room as you do this?
If there's
I
nothing
just
in
literally want to feel the walls.
This
you
is
know?
how high are the walls?
20 foot.
I would love to.
Yeah, how big is our new friend?
How big's Bob?
Oh, like 3 foot,
Oh, okay.
like in height, like skinny, like yeah, really, yeah.
How high does levitate go?
Around 20 feet, I think it was. But I can.
Do you want to levitate me up to one of the crystals?
I can't. The version of Levitate I had is from an Eldritch Invocation, so I can use it on myself.
As you go, as you're around the room and you're do an investigation check for me. I'll let one other person because you are all kind of going. Do you want to do an investigation? Yeah.
Sure.
I got 19.
Okay.
And I got right. 21.
Okay. You start going around the room. The first thing you notice is that the walls are, they have this kind of sticky residue all over them. Some kind of oil or something that appears to almost come from the cracks.
I think it's fine.
Can you taste it? Yes.
Lick the wall.
Yeah, the guinea pigs are doing it.
I've tasted a lot of stuff. I've tasted this before.
Lick many walls.
Yeah.
Yes, you lick the wall. It's a bitter, oily. It's
Oil.
imagine licking an oily piece of Shadowfell kale.
Okay.
That's what you just feels like you've licked. Somehow something plant-based.
So not mechanical based.
Say again?
I wouldn't recognise it's like anything mechanical based.
No.
So it's
not
very
that
not
kind
okay.
of- Yeah,
So
it's
is
not
it-
that kind of thing.
It doesn't look organic, this place, at all.
The place doesn't look organic. This, that's a great word for it. It definitely seemed organic, maybe even fair trade.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to put that symbol on the floor now, like the two black symbols with the blue and green.
Well, how can you say that? What you do find as the two of you are going around the room is this kind of scratching into the floor on the right side of the room. I'm a small riddle of sorts, which says, "Softly go to death's embrace. You've won the war. Now win the race." With a capital D and a capital E on death's embrace.
Sorry.
Softly go to death's embrace.
You've won the
You've
war.
won the war.
Now win the race.
Death in very green capital. Capitals.
Capital's the D and
What's a
E.
capital?
Yeah.
What?
What's a capital?
What's a capital?
It's
Like
when
the
it's
main city.
bigger.
Is that
Something?
As you're kind of gathering around this and looking,
Oh, no.
you start hearing this kind of wet, kind of slithering, sliding, weird, kind of slapping sound.
It's a tree and it's smacking my ass again.
Yeah. No, it's just kind of fapping about.
I'm bored. You said you were tired.
Shiver just down here.
I'm awake now.
On the opposite end of the wall that you came in, you start seeing these small black tendrils starting to just like push their way through the kind of cracks in the stone. And they just get bigger and bigger. They start off small and unassuming until they're just kind of these thick tendrils that just sprout from every part, and they appear amassed at the other end, and they start wriggling and squirming, and then they start coming from the walls next to you and from the floor until this room starts to become very much this weird hentai kind of just slapping. They are
Excellent.
right.
So if the doorway's here, they're coming out of that doorway and then coming out of the walls.
Yeah, so they're focused on the door, the wall opposite the door, the far wall. That's where they appear centralized, but you start seeing these tendrils come from all of the rest. And they start flipping and swirling, and it appears to be going stronger kind of by the second.
There's nothing.
I'm only doing this because it was my original thought.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to just walk at the door.
Yeah.
Like opposite the door we came from.
So just into the
I'm just gonna
massive,
walk into the massive.
massive tendrils.
I know I'm stupid, but I only did it because it was my first thought. I didn't think about it, so I just do that.
Yeah. You start walking towards these, and literally, the growth is exponential on these things. It's at this point as you're getting towards it, it's almost like you're just walking into a
treacle, like sort of.
yeah, and they're flailing and swirling, and you're kind of pushing your way kind of through this, and you disappear, and you do not know where he's just gone. He's just disappeared into mass.
I'm amazed it lasted this long.
Rest in peace.
Shall we leave? It doesn't seem worth it.
Should we throw balls?
I was just gonna just stand still. I was just
Can you
gonna go
like
softly.
attach a rope around his waist or something and then throw him through? See what happens to him.
I'm glad to sort of push him through because you just
Yeah,
fell
that's
through.
true actually.
Wait,
I'm just gonna wait for him.
you've got that spell that push that knocks things 10 feet, right? You could place ball in front of it and then knock him into it.
They just throw him at him.
Unfortunately,
I'm not strong enough.
Unfortunately,
Blocks are strong.
He's brave through. I could throw him that.
I'm
no
okay.
thanks. Unfortunately, I did not take the invocation that lets me pull things towards me, so I could push someone away but not pull them back.
No, that's what we want.
Well, I mean, you would damage him though. You might actually kill the sprite.
The whole point was to use him as a sacrifice to get to this level.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't think I'm panicking. I'm just literally just gonna wait here. I think as they approach.
I'm gonna
Well,
throw a
I'll-
couple firebolts at some of the tendrils just to see what would happen.
I'll try and.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Roll to hit.
Not 20.
I mean that hits.
Can't believe we're just wasting that 20. That's for 11, 20, 21 damage. Sorry, 22 damage.
22 damage. You fire the fireball into the mass, or just one of the tendrils going round, or
Not into the mass, just at a tentacle.
okay,
See
you fire
what
at the tentacle, and the limb there's this kind of flash, and the limb like falls off essentially, and just behind it another two just kind of swirling out, and those two that come swirling out just go. Does an 18 and a 29 hit?
No.
Well, I'm guessing the other 12 didn't, but I'm going to say that those two did. It's 8 points of damage as you just get slapped. At this point, the other tendrils start becoming more aggressive to the intruder in its rooms, and start going for the interview. So Apollinaire is a 19 to hit. Yep. 1926. That is 10 damage. That is 14, 21, and nat 20 on Malevolent.
I'm going to cast shield.
Okay, so the 14 doesn't hit. Does the 19 hit?
And I'll have 21 AC that way. So.
Okay, so it's just the nat 20 that hits.
Yeah.
So that is 4 damage, which is 5.
I made the mind range.
It's a touch of like fire hair.
Vilt, that's a 13, an 18, and an 18.
No, I did attack them. This is my
The
fault.
13 misses the other two hits.
That is 10 damage. And Arishan, that is 20, 29, and nat 20.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Are you just standing right in front of them by chance?
20 is my armor class,
Oh, okay. So the 19 doesn't hit. So it's just
That's good.
10 damage in that case.
So
Which is good. Yeah, and they're just swearing and slapping you and bashing you. So you cast that. Anyone else want to cast spells?
No, but I'm going to hold Bob in front of me and I'm going to walk towards the mass.
You walk towards the
Yes.
mass? Okay, you walk towards the mass.
As calmly and as firmly
So
as I
wait,
can.
I'm
Just wait.
around, yeah.
Bill?
I am going to cast Detect Thoughts
Okay.
to try and detect what the creature is, its intentions are, and what it's doing.
Hug
You
me.
can certainly
Yeah.
So no
Do you want
me-
a hug?
I want a hug. That
Magic.
So I can focus on any one creature I can see within 30 feet of me. If it's got an intelligence of 3 or lower, doesn't speak any languages, it's unaffected. I probably should have read that first.
You cast a spell.
I don't detect its thoughts.
This is so eloquent.
Arishan, Marshan?
I'm not gonna attack it. I'm just gonna see what happens.
That would be fantastic.
gonna
I'm
say
out of the game.
Yeah.
I know.
Ember?
I'm just gone.
I'm gonna wait and see what happens when Apollinaire and Bob go through.
Okay. As Apollinaire and Bob start kind of just like pushing their way through the mass, they're gone.
I'm gonna check.
Can I
What
telepathically
happens?
contact them with the weakened mind?
You can. That's not two-way speech, if I'm mistaken, right?
It's not what?
It's not two-way communication, right?
I
I
think
can
it
cast
is.
message. I can cast message.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not certain though.
Look up. But I'm pretty sure it's not. But you could cast message, yes.
I'm gonna cast message and say
Right.
Who did it?
I can do it too. Probably.
Yeah.
Who that?
I'm gonna cast it on the one with the higher intelligence. So I'm just gonna send you a message and say what happens.
No, it doesn't say they can reply,
Nah,
so I guess they can't.
Like it's like getting like a single call, like a voicemail in your head.
Where's message you can reply to?
Oh,
Yeah, so the message she is you can reply.
do I happen to hear said message?
Yes, you do. And you're on the other side. As you get through as you kind of push through, you kind of come out the other end, and you look behind you. You're in a doorway, which appears to lead into the room behind, and from this angle, you can kind of see into the room. You can kind of see your friends, and you can see them all
Panicking.
and fighting off. They don't appear to be fighting anything off. It's just a blank room.
Are you just
Would I
chilling
see
there?
this?
So I'll just.
You would also see this. You
So
look behind,
it's an
and they're
illusion.
just in
Yeah.
a room,
It's an illusion.
just fighting and
Walk
flailing at
through.
things, and Ember threw a fireball.
It's gross.
Oh.
It's fine.
There's nothing there, is there?
No, there's not.
I genuinely wouldn't go in. I'm like,
Does
there's
No,
nothing to
that
fight,
wouldn't
so I'm like,
So
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I've been told that it's an illusion, can
Yeah.
I sort of
Oh, it's an illusion.
have a closer look at
You're
it
basically.
and
It's almost like a two-way
recognize
glass.
that it's not real?
Sure.
Two-way,
Make
one-way.
a wisdom.
don't you have to spell magic?
Big favour.
Yes, I do.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
For you. Thank you.
Or no, an
It is great.
an intelligence save.
But I shall do it.
Or is that
No.
well?
Nah, go on.
I don't think it makes
Yeah,
much
I would-
difference.
I would like-
if it's
what are they
intelligence, it's
doing?
4. If it's wisdom,
What?
it's 5.
I'm asking, like, what are they doing?
Oh,
Like, they're just waving.
they're
Saving
fighting
throws
off the
standing.
tentacles, basically.
So every saving throw get +4 in the standing.
Yes, every saving throw. Any form of saving throw, you have +4 if they're near you.
For you,
So if I'm near enough,
Yeah.
then that's 8 or 9.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, well, I know it's not real. as it goes through again. Yeah. What are the rest?
I was still.
You're just standing there. Okay.
Take me.
It's me.
It does. Are you wanting to read?
Well, I mean, she's sitting shouting it's not real. I'm just gonna walk through.
That's correct. Okay.
So
So
do I just run through it?
okay, you guys run through it. You're trying to. You're just sitting like. That is a 14, a 16, and a 20.
Yeah, they all hit.
They all hit. Okay. That is 15 damage.
Okay, I'm kind of roll it.
Okay. That is a 17, a 29, and a nat 20 for yourself.
Yes,
They all hit. Okay. That is a 14. And yeah, it's just the two of you left in the room. You guys
Can
kind
I
of
go back to them?
push your way through. You go to walk behind you. You just walk into the room, and you just see them flailing around.
And they can try and talk to them, see if they do.
Yeah, you see him. He just kind of walked into the mass and walked back out.
Okay, well, I'm going to go and follow then. Yeah.
Well, looks like they're not coming for me. I need to go down.
Yeah. You guys push through the mass. I'm look behind, and it's just an empty room. You feel yourself exiting this creature. You feel it. You feel it over your skin. You feel this. Oh, and as you look down yourself, as you get on the other side, there is this kind of weird, thickly oily substance on you. But It's yeah. You look behind you and the room's empty, and what you would expect to see behind you is not there, and you're just standing in the doorway, going into the next room.
Do they look? Do they look damaged?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually really quite in a lot of pain.
Really, I'm probably really angry. What are you doing?
I thought they were, I tried to go peacefully, but I was far too peaceful for this creature.
I'm.
You can have my superior help.
Or we could.
I mean, I've got my own one that I can take.
We could try and do a short rest soon and just take shifts, you know.
Okay, do we want to do
Well, I mean, if you guys need that, I'm okay right now, but.
that?
I don't mind short resting, actually.
Yeah?
We'll do that then. Yeah, what's happening? We have a minute to read.
Yeah, got an end.
It's the slappy tentacles.
So Bob's still alive.
Oh,
Oh, were they targeting him?
hold on. Yeah, they would have. Get a round in there. Bob is not alive.
Oh.
You kind of like look on him because he's unconscious at this point, and actually,
He's going to turn into a mascot.
So you have to make death saves.
definitely not. I'd like you to make a medicine check for him.
Okay. I suspect my medicine is not very high, especially for a creature who's not. I pushed Bob in front of me when walking to the tentacles. She had managed to anger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she angered all the tentacles. I didn't want to get hit, so I put Bob in front of me and forced my way through. Just a d20.
Embrace is just a fancy word for hug.
Very fancy.
So you should just let them hug you.
That is 19.
So he appears to be dead in your arms, but as you do a further investigation, he's not. He's just unconscious. Presumably, he may not have been affected by the illusionary magic because he was unconscious.
Interesting. So next time we knock each other out.
And start again.
Next time you walk into a hentai
You said that.
I think that happens
I
all the
definitely
time.
lean down
The
to
safest thing to do is lose consciousness.
lean down to the lean down to the evidence and just say, knock me out.
You want knocked out
I don't
in front of all these tentacles?
I want to see him.
I need to try and use like sleep at ninth level. I don't know what else I could do. Sleep like that wouldn't work.
Okay.
No. Well, how many d6 is it?
The next room that you see in front of you, the ceiling is a mass of glittering crystals, sparkling gently like dewdrops in the morning sun, lighting up the corners of the room with an almost sickly green light. A strip of red runs through the room, once plush carpet, now somewhat threadbare and faded, and it splits the room into two. The floor consisting of large grey blocks of stone. Along the, or through the room, are a series of sandstone statues, all lined up as if an antechamber to a throne room. But instead, the effigies of kings, once passed on, or now passed on, they're instead a series of gruesome monsters, shadow creatures, their faces obscured, vague, hidden. A blanket of dust smothers the room, making it eerily silent. Only the faint wind from the previous room swaying the crystals, their occasional clinking tantalizing your eardrums. There's some roughly hewn marble blocks at the far end of the room, which appear to plug a doorway of the same kind of grey stone which a lot of this room is made up of. They lean against each other like a pair of drunkards, seemingly out of place, added at a later date to block the doorway ahead of you.
There's two sections though, is there not? There's the sandy section and there's the other section.
No, so it's essentially a long room
single
with
corridor.
with a carpet running down the middle, these statues along the outside and a doorway at the other end.
Okay.
Imagine if we're keeping up the comparisons. Imagine the start to the throne room in Minas Tirith, how it's got those kind of faces of the kings, and it just kind of goes down, that kind of stuff.
Either you guys have to take traps.
So can you actually go behind the statues?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, you can just get there. They're certainly at the edges of the room, but you can get behind them if you want to.
Yeah. Can I just like have a look around just before we step on anything, just for like traps or?
Yeah, traps. I want to look traps.
Sure.
It looks
Can
like
I
it's
grab
good trap.
Can I grab the carpet?
Yep.
And do a.
You most certainly can. Do a strength check for me, and an investigation check yourself, or for the both of you.
Strength check 24.
Cool.
Yeah, that's 18.
And you see it kind of ripple all the way down the room. It went quite far down the room.
18.
That's not what. That's not what.
18 and
22.
I want
22. Certainly the carpeted area that has just been ruffled, and the immediate vicinity doesn't appear to be trapped. Yeah.
So
I don't quite fancy walking in front of the statues.
Come up behind me.
Oh yeah, I want to walk next to you.
So we're all crowding around the paladin.
Yeah.
Walk down.
Yeah. Well, if you're walking down, I'm gonna start following you. Yeah.
I'll go there.
I'm gonna walk behind the one
Sure.
where the statues.
I'm going to use ascendant step and then go in the air just behind them.
Cool.
Just gonna hang
Ju-
back
just
for a
below
moment
the
and see what
ceiling to
happens.
avoid anything.
It's actually quite a good shout. Just
You-
wait and watch.
The ones in the center, you begin walking through these statues, and nothing.
Oh fuck.
You walk seemingly uninterrupted to the other side. You get to the two large blocks of marble, which are plugging the doorway at this end. You walk behind, no problem at all. You levitate.
Somehow that makes me more nervous.
Okay, I'm gonna come up and join the others then.
Just a marble. Is it like doorway and there's just two marble blocks in front?
Yeah, so you've got doorway, and then they're kind of like.
They're like leaning against each other, so like two blocks, like just like that.
What's race again? Sorry.
18. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
10
Really
plus
grand.
Dex and Constitution.
You've got doorway, and then two kind of big slabs in front of it, which are just leaning against each other. They're like gaps at the top and bottom, but
Are they crudely hewn, or are they actually quite carved?
the marble stone appears to be. I mean, it's smooth to a degree. They're not exact like rectangles or anything like that, so they're rough in that regard, but they're not. They appear to have been. Yeah, they're not a specific shape, but they're also not like rough and jagged.
So it's likely they were found and used quite quickly.
Okay.
Alright, well, the strong ones can see if they can move them, right?
Well, I've got some gunpowder, so I can probably blow it up.
Do we try and fuck it? I just
Mhm.
haul. Sure.
Strength check.
Strength, strength, or athletics?
I get one hand.
Yeah, athletics. Go for it.
Cock. Well, 24.
Oh, there's 20.
I rolled a 1 and a 3.
If that
16.
doesn't work, if it weighs less than 1,000 pounds, telekinesis will move it.
Yeah, I think I can move
Yeah,
1.3 tons without breaking
Yeah.
a sweat.
1.3 tons.
Yeah.
I just got 16.
You start. You
Small
bare hug, and you're trying to pull.
Yeah.
You start
If
trying
it's
to.
pulling, I can do even more. I can might do 3
Sure.
turns.
You gonna get. You're trying to pull. You're trying to pull. You're trying to pull,
It's more to hell.
and you start breaking a sweat, and they are unmoving.
I thought you were stronger than this.
Can I do one more?
Oh, this is your thing.
I'd stand back if this doesn't work. Because
You have
I'm
one
gonna,
job.
I'm going to start hitting
I'd love to
stuff.
buff you in some way, but I really don't have enough spells.
Don't be an ass dice, please.
Natural 20!
Oh,
Make a dex save for me.
oh no.
You're next to Brian.
So that'd be a 19.
You're doing this with disadvantage, right? You're exhausted.
Oh, no,
for the next 10 minutes.
Okay, so that would have been not natural 20. It would have
I
ended
thought
up.
exhaustion was just skill checks.
Yeah, this is a skill check.
But a saving throw, though.
It
The
depends on
athletics
how-
check, yes, not the dexterity.
But I was
Depends on
raging,
how
so I
many
would have been
levels
doing
of
it
exhaustion you've got.
at advantage
Yeah, he's
anyway.
got one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have been doing athletics at just.
So on that second check, my lower of the two would have been 28.
Okay. And what was your dex?
And my dex save was 19.
19.
I'm tired, okay?
You get it. And you're sweating, and with roll.
I always forget your name, right?
Athletics.
Arishan?
Arisha.
18.
18. Between the two of you, you kind of loosening slightly, and you giving a 28. The marble block falls suddenly towards you, making a similar sound that you just made. There you go. As it unplugs this doorway, you dodge out of the way as this just kind of falls with a great thud onto the carpet. Yours then just kind of tips and falls, and you're like, "Ugh," and you kind of guide it over your shoulder. And beyond is nothing. It's just a doorway with almost like a false back. It's just
You get
Yeah.
you get some major stink eye.
I can't
Not
believe this
strong
happened.
enough.
Okay.
Damn my foot.
Well done.
I will go through. Wait, it's nothing.
It's left as a stone
As in,
wall.
there's nothingness, or it is just a stone wall.
it's just a stone wall.
Just punch the wall.
Yeah. You go to push it, and then it's just you punch it.
Back punching it there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're level 20, so you don't, like, hurt your wrist, but, like, you hurt your wrist.
Because you're a restaurant.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay, I think maybe it's time for another fix.
Yes.
Yeah, let's maybe look
Okay,
for
so
the
Can we have a look at
actual
how many statues are there?
There's 8.
8 statues in total.
Are they different colours?
No, they're made all of the same material.
All same race?
No. They're all different. Their features aren't really clear. Somebody make a nature check for me.
I'm proficient at that.
Great.
Can I make one?
I will allow 2, so
Okay.
you 2 can make it.
I do have -2 to the check, but I'm
That is
proficient.
18.
18 on investigation, yeah.
Oh, you said nature check.
Oh no, that's for...
Yeah, well, 2 people can make the same nature check.
Off
so
of
it's
nature.
everybody just
or
rolls.
whatever.
Okay, I've not said mine yet, so you guys do it.
Oh, well, I did a 14.
An 18. Okay. The creatures appear to be the natural denizens of this realm. Most of them are much like the devils of the hells. They're classified as devils, but the range within them is huge, and they can be very, very different. They tend to be very unique, and they tend to be lords and ladies of X, Y, and Z. These are just higher power beings of this plane, but you don't know which ones they are, their relevance, anything like that.
Are there any ones which have clearly elven heritage? Superior elven heritage?
No.
Do any of them stand out among the others?
No.
I'm gonna grab one of the heads and like look at it, and like
Okay, so much like
if
the
it annoys
House of
me, I'm
Minister,
gonna pull it off.
they're about 15 foot high.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you like.
Step on the pedestal.
That's
yeah.
literally still like a whole story.
And you try and move this stone's head, and it does not twist.
I'm just checking
I'm sitting
the
down,
other
I'm gonna
walls
wait.
for any other exits or
Okay.
hidden things.
Make an investigation check.
I'm gonna sit in a huff and wait for this like lethargy to pass over.
Okay.
That's an 8.
Cool. Doesn't appear to be any like doorways, anything like that.
Well, turn around.
Turn around. I turn around. Wait, what?
Turn around. Another exit, maybe this isn't the place.
I turn around and just on the spot.
There's nothing behind, like on the wall behind the statues at all.
Doesn't appear to be.
Is there anything under the carpet?
Make investigation check.
I was gonna ask if there's any like writing on the bottom of the statue. You know, like they have like a little thing.
plaque or whatever.
9.
We're gonna be stuck here if we keep rolling.
Every investigation or perception I make.
Strength can get through any door if it comes to it.
Except the stone wall.
Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat taut, this carpet, but you can and have you look under it and
I
it's
ask
just
him
weird.
to move the carpet out of the way.
Okay, you
Sorry.
go ahead, right?
I abide. Still, this beneath.
Yeah,
And
you
I'll
just
roll up the carpet.
roll
like,
up at the carpet.
There's nothing,
In- like,
there's nothing
so-
on the bottom of the carpet. No, leaving.
Going from the wall to the doorway we came through, I'm rolling it that way.
Sure.
I'm just making sure, like.
Yep, cool.
Are the statues armed?
Armed? No.
No. So when you say they're just like wearing normal like regal garments.
They're the creatures of the Shadowfell are literally shadows themselves, which have manifested in various forms. So they are kind of starting from the base. They're twisting, shapeless, and then they go up into a more humanoid-esque figure for the most part. But they're they're not like just
What is the light source in this room?
the crystals, the kind of mass of crystals which are just hanging and occasionally clinking above you.
I managed to roll up the entire carpet and then dump it to one side.
You now have a rather shitty carpet.
I just dump it over somewhere.
I want to go through the entire room, chap them all, see if anything sounds hollow.
And there is this kind of eerie silence through just only your sounds and rustlings kind of making, any dent
You
in
did
it.
that detect magic
Not strong
before.
enough.
Did you do that again?
Seems like cheating.
Yes, we could use
You
it.
can always ritual cast it as well.
Yeah, I guess. Well, first of all, I want to check to see if I hear anything hollow. Nothing hollow. So see if any of the statues are magic. Presumably that's where the.
I did the room. Door, then it was like a blank patch of corridor tunnel before the pedestal started with statues, and then wall.
With a carpet going right in the wall.
So it's like the carpet, statues, fake door.
Yeah,
Right.
with a decent distance of no statues.
I mean, like 20 foot.
Is the fake door carved? Like, is it just a slab of wall, or is it actually carved?
Should be carved.
Well,
Like
maybe
all the
with a
other
handle.
doors that you got.
Like somewhere in the room there might be a handle on one of the statues or something like that attached to it. Some sort of key mechanism.
Nah, I'm sat down. Just not strong enough.
Fine, okay, I guess I'll try to take magic on one of the statues. Any particular one, anyone fancy anyone?
Well,
The one-
you
that
cast
one-
it on yourself.
I'll
Oh yeah,
point,
just to see.
I'll point at the one
Right,
that I
okay.
tried to pull the head off.
Okay, I'm trying to basically particularly that one.
Him.
We're untrustworthy one.
10 minutes go by. Anybody want to do anything in that 10 minutes?
I guess I'll just try and closely inspect the statues.
Okay.
I'll look for anything that's missing, that seems to be missing from the carving on the fake door.
Power nap. 10 minutes.
Oh, that cat.
Just sitting there like using the carpet as a blanket.
Yeah, exactly. I use that
Oh,
carpet.
that was 15. That was better than before.
Okay. As you start casting
22.
as you start casting the spell, begin doing that, you start kind of poking and seeing whether you can see anything to do with the statues. The only thing you notice, I guess, vaguely out of the ordinary is that they do move just a little bit. Yeah, not just like the statues, like the people, but like the whole thing just appears to be, I guess, just a bit lighter than you maybe expect a sandstone thing is. So, yeah.
What make of that one? Maybe have them all facing the door or something.
How far can I, like if I try and twist them, how far can I do that? Or do they go all the way around?
Yep, you twist and they move. So you can move that whole 15-foot thing with relative ease. You can just move. You have to, but they appear.
Okay,
The whole
I'm
thing
gonna
just
see
moves.
if I can listen really carefully and see if while I'm moving it, anything sounds like it's clipping into place.
I'm going to start moving as much,
thief.
going from side
Yeah.
to side.
Yes.
To point out the wall that we think might be hiding the door. them all so they're looking at that door.
Yeah. So you start pointing them to the door. You're just kind of moving and trying to listen, make a perception check.
Just proficiency in this. 21.
Okay. You can hear the scraping on the floor. There doesn't appear to be any other mechanisms which are being triggered or anything like that at all.
Fingers crossed.
Alright, so I'm just gonna twist this one to face the wall, like the ones here.
They are now facing. They're all still stationary where they were, and they're now just pointing towards the fake door.
And they're all the statues are completely unique.
Yep.
Did you set down?
You have some fancy words from that.
There's 10 minutes still going by.
I think I only referred to the previous room. Softly go to Death's Embrace, you go on the warning of the race.
I probably want to catch it. I will catch it.
I think going to Death's Embrace was actually just going through the door.
Maybe if we run really fast.
This is like the kids.
Yeah, you know what I think you should do? I think you should go back to the door and then just run at that fake door as fast as you can. I think maybe it just becomes a door. Run as fast at it.
As I have this gone off, I do exactly what you just said.
Wait, what do you do?
Go back to the door we came in and just sprint at that, and I'm going to try and solve the dice through it.
Make a strength check.
You can always contact the big evil guy in the sky.
24.
Yeah, but I've got to point that down to it. And I have not been rolling well today.
You take 14 points of damage as you run into a wall.
Did anything happen?
The wall cracked a little, but
It cracked?
yeah, you ran into a wall.
Yeah, maybe.
£700.
Shall I start?
I do have guns. Don't even while we're trying to break through. I couldn't feel anything that's hollow. It could be like 10 foot.
So it's likely a portal or some jargon like that.
Yeah, I probably want to cast.
How many was that?
magic ritual and see if there's anything.
You'll see you don't that you continued pressing it. The only source of magic. There are two main sources of magic in this room. The crystals, which have a very bright magic to them, magical source, and then there's a faint magical source to the marble blocks themselves. Make an intelligence check for me.
The crystals hanging?
Yeah.
Do they appear to be coming from a hole in the roof?
No. Say again?
22.
22? The crystals, as you're kind of looking at them, there's an ever so slight variance between the ones on the right side of the room and the ones on the left. There's almost like the strip down the middle, which are one brightness, and then you've got a slightly slightly brighter patch section of crystals, and then a slightly darker patch in the other. So it's almost like a gradient. It goes light, dark, medium, light.
Has something to do with the symmetry. Something to do with it. I'm feeling some sort of gradient of magic along the line.
This is the shadow spell. What if we turn all the statues to face towards the darker side of the room?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll.
So yeah, you move them. The variation is obviously very, very slight. It only took kind of the more seeing the differences in magical energy that you could really pick it out. But now that you've kind of been pointed to it, you can kind of tell a lot more. Yeah, I guess they're a little different. You point them all to the darker side of the room. The left-hand side of the room is not going to be any difference.
Okay, let's focus on this marble then.
What about the marble?
Is there anything on the marble at all? Okay, stop focusing.
What if you move the marble thread like somewhere else in the room? Just even slightly.
How was the marble placed against the door?
Does it fit the other door?
Like, were they just like slotted into the door frame, or were they
were
they leaning against each other?
Yeah.
They were leaning against each other, somewhat pushed into the portal as much as they could, but not all of them could fit in.
Do they look like they were once part of a single hole?
No.
Are both doorways on each side of the room the same shape?
Yeah. same as you've walked through the previous ones through this temple so
Maybe
far.
it's some sort of magical airlock.
Where did your magical sources come from? The crystals. and
Crystals
all.
and the marble.
Yeah, the
And it's
marble
one-
very faintly, the crystals very strong.
And it was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And they're above the statues.
When you say 1, 2,
As in
So
like
the crystals.
1, 2 in line with each other.
One, two, what?
Crystals. We're talking about crystals.
the ceiling
There's
is
loads of
covered in
crystals.
crystals.
Oh right, and then it's a gradient towards. Oh, I thought it was only 9.
Imagine it literally the ceiling here, and every single one of those circles is a crystal.
Right.
The,
And
the
the
ceiling
gradient,
is
if that's the
a
doorway
70s
size, it goes this way towards where it came from.
Or so I thought it was a side.
You're struggling with this.
I think.
Yeah, yeah.
These are hot.
I'm role playing.
Deeply struggle. Oh yeah. I'm not. I'm just fucking terrible at these.
This is the side you came in. This is the side you exited. This is where the carpet was, and now it's just a blank section in the middle of the room. You've got 4 statues here, 4 statues here.
Yeah.
This section is, if that's the entrance, this section is the darkest, medium, lightest. So it's a whole half of the room essentially, barring this side.
My head hurts. I'm used to this situation. I'm going to sit and type.
Well, maybe actually try plugging the other door. See if that.
It was really, really hard unplugging the door.
Make an intelligence check for me, Ember.
I have an idea. My idea
15.
would definitely not be smart.
Not only do the statues appear to be able to move round, they also appear to move. So
Oh.
you're moving, as I said before, you're moving the whole thing as opposed to just the thing on top.
So does it move like on a specific sort of grid, or can I just move it freely?
You can just move it.
It's almost like it's on casters or something.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And does it feel like it's really heavy? Statue.
It doesn't feel as heavy as it should, which you should
It's
find
slight.
out before.
I guess, or on something.
Doesn't
Okay,
appear
so
to be
these
on
statues
anything.
can be literally anywhere in the room and be facing anyway.
Okay, so
Can we try pushing one towards the door?
well, if we're able to move the statues, and was there some way to distinguish them between all the statues?
I examined the floor again, looking to see if there's anywhere where it looks like a statue is supposed to stand in a small. Somewhere where the pattern is
Yeah.
somewhere where it's
Survival
something
check.
survival.
Can I help with that? I'm good at it.
Sure.
We were all as well as
Is
you.
it because you're good at survival, or that's what you'd have done?
I'm proficient at survival.
Sure, but is that what your character would have done, or is it just because you want to get a good roll?
Not really. I know.
We're all stuck
My
in this
character
room.
is good at
Yeah.
hunting stuff.
Yeah, we're all
if
stuck
he
in this room.
suggested,
We're all trying to work in the
if he
same
suggested looking for like tracks,
Then that's fine.
I may have gone.
I think it's going to have to be your roll because I got a 9.
I'm also
I got
proficient in survival.
11.
There doesn't appear to be anywhere specific in the room. You can see there are kind of scrapes upon the floor as if it looks like these have been moved before, but not any kind of distinct pattern to where and that kind of thing. There just appear to be slight scratches around it.
So what? We need to figure out what distinguishes between these statues, right? Because otherwise we don't know why we'd be moving them. Because else
Height,
is every so like
a 2 short, 2 medium, 2 tall.
okay. Now that we're looking for differences between the statues, do we see
Yeah.
any trends at all?
No.
Same height and everything. The only difference is
I mean,
creature of the fate,
Yeah.
creature of the shadow.
yeah, they differ somewhat, but there's not any relevant pattern to them.
I'm going to try and push one towards the door.
I like you. Which you see? Which side of the room are you pushing? 1, 2, and which one are you pushing?
I guess I'm still at the door, so I'll pick the one on the right and push towards the door.
And you're at the doorway, 1 to the right. You're pushing it to the right, so to the far right side of the wall. Or are you switching sides of the room that's on?
I guess it's just going to be like literally going to be trying like trial and error at this point. I was going to try and push it towards the door. See if
Okay.
that,
You can do that.
do that.
The door being what we came through. or the door being the
fake marble.
Fake door.
Okay. You start pushing towards that, and it does appear to move easily. Like it requires some force. It's not like they're on like, levitating or anything like that. But you can move them, and there's this kind of scraping sound. And as it gets to the central section of the room where the carpet was, you can see the light on your half of the room that you're in dim ever so slightly, as if somebody's just hit the down arrow on the brightness on
So
a
maybe we can
screen.
move them all onto the middle.
Would
where
you
the carpet
equalize the
was.
light and get rid of the gradient
Or just dim it entirely because it's the shadow fell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The shadows don't tend to stay in like.
You're gonna attempt to do that.
Yeah, I guess we'll try and move all the statues into the.
Up with that idea.
Yeah. I think we'd all give it a shot. At this stage, we're just doing it.
Yeah. It's statue.
Yeah, but we could just be blindly moving statues and see if we hear something.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
You begin moving all the statues into the center part of the room, and each time they move into the center, the light drops by different amounts. The light in the center starts to get brighter and brighter, until as you move the last statue from each of the halves into the central section of the room, the other two sides are completely dark. As the last one just moves onto that central section and it goes completely pitch black for all intents and purposes on the other side, the light above you is so blindingly bright, and you kind of look up, and it's bright, and it gets brighter and brighter until you can't even look up. You have to cover your eyes. You can vaguely, as you're kind of looking down like this, you can see the marble plug getting brighter and brighter as well, echoing that of the light above. There's a flash and an echoing boom, and there's this dropping sensation as if you just missed a step on a staircase, and you feel yourself hit the ground. This breaking sound, and you look around, and you are, as you are sitting currently, the three of you look around, and you see each other. You see 4 broken statues in front of you. You're in a room roughly half the shape of the one you were in before. And you don't see the others.
We have to build statues this time.
The statues have cracked as they've hit the ground, and much like Stanson, it somewhat crumbles upon impact, and inside appears to be some objects hidden inside the statues. You're against the far right hand side of this wall, and there appear to be 4 kind of like alcoves or nooks into the wall, and on the opposite side there are another 4. You 3 find yourself similarly with a wall to your left, 4 cubbies, 4 statues that appear to have broken upon impact, and 4 cubbies on the other side.
Examine the contents of the statues.
Again?
I examined the contents of the statues. So there's something inside them.
Yeah. You find 4 skulls.
Is there anything
which
to
appears to be,
distinguish each of the 4 skulls?
yeah, make a nature check.
Given how I've been rolling today, this is probably going to...
And these are embedded in the stone.
Yeah, they appear to be like
13.
in the hearts of them almost.
Okay.
13. There appear to be different races. They're varying size. You can see ones. They're different of enough size that you can tell that they're humanoid, but they're not all the same creature.
Could I have a look at the alcoves?
Mhm.
To see if there's any sort of distinguishing mark between one alcove and the next and the next
Sure.
and the next.
So you start with alcoves on your right. We'll put these as a visual aid. You start with the ones on your right. Doesn't appear to be anything kind of important to them there. The ones on your left, there's 2 really interesting things you find. The first is writing in each of them, but backwards. And the other strange thing is in these cubbies, there is grass. Lush green grass.
Can I try and read the backwards writing?
Sure. On your side, you see in one cubby the first human, the second dwarf, the third orc, and the fourth elf.
So I guess maybe try and put the skulls corresponding to the first elf with the second. The races.
Sure.
The question is, do we put it in the one with the grass and writing or the one opposite it?
Well, I can only
Try
try.
it.
I can only try. Yeah, I mean,
It says backwards writing, so maybe the one's opposite.
opposite.
Worth a try. If something goes horribly wrong, we can just try the other one.
Yeah, like one across.
Something goes horribly wrong. I can just glitch it out.
Okay.
Bring me with you.
How do you know? How are you distinguishing which one's which? So you just have 4.
Can I take a look at them now and see if I can tell if there's any difference between them after?
Sure.
Yeah.
Make a nature check.
18.
Yeah. You can see that you have a human, a dragon, what is called a spectator, and a tiefling. Skull.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I am going to cast Detect Thoughts. And while walking around the edges of the room, I'm going to try and pick up the thoughts of anyone in the other group to ask them if they've got writing with any of these types of species.
Can you look up the specifics of the spell for me?
Yeah, the part here is you can also use the spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see. You can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. It can penetrate barriers, but 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of any metal other than lead, or a thin sheet of lead blocks you.
You can hear the surface thoughts of those around you. Can't hear the surface thoughts of the others.
So maybe.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, that's what you said.
So just to quickly ask while I think about what to do.
Dwarf to blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we don't.
We're in the
have
same,
those.
what's it, same chamber, same similar chamber.
Sure
On
are.
the opposite side.
Yeah. And
Okay.
And what's the situation in ours?
Yeah.
Very different combination.
You have, well, you have what I described last time.
I'll scrape through the rubble.
You found 4 spells.
And the gravel apples.
Do any of
Sure.
us have any
I
sort
would
of
say the most I
basic
get from
spells
them
or
is the
anything
different.
That's a
Yeah.
different
Oh,
thing.
one second.
Same thing will definitely help.
Okay.
You can't send a reply though.
No, you can't. Unless you have something.
No.
No, that's why I said hold on until we know exactly what we're doing.
Hang on. This is ours. Is it?
I like that idea. I think we should definitely, as you said,
You,
put this human next to
you
human.
examine the alcoves and you find some, for sake of brevity, you find some mirrored writing. You find the words tiefling, dragon, spectator, and unicorn.
So we're going to put human
Unicorn.
Yeah.
Either of the skulls have a
Human
hole on it.
with human,
Like a single
and then
hole.
it'd be
Yeah.
second.
That is probably what I've
was
got.
of a dwarf. Third.
Oh, okay.
And the other one's
Do you also have a tiefling, dragon, and spectator skull over there? Alright, yeah, keep going.
Make a nature check.
Doyle or me?
You,
Okay.
you've taken it.
And one of these is grass, right?
Yes,
So
one
then,
side is grass.
we put the other
14.
3 not on the grass. But
The evil one's not in the grass.
For the sake of the
so
story,
this is the one we're supposed to have.
you have
So
Let me
assuming
guess,
they-
I've got a dwarf, an elf, and an orc.
orc and a unicorn, yeah.
Wait, what? Working under the assumption that they've been teleported to a similar.
Wait, we've got.
Wait, so it's 4 and 5.
You found languages, yeah? Like in the alcoves.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and so
how
I'm
were they arranged? Sorry.
So it seems that we've each
Flip
got one
writing.
for our own section and the 3 from our.
Wait, so on each of these boxes, which would have the language in
The
it?
grass could represent them.
There's one, there's
the
writing
one
in each.
that they have, or for their own
So it goes
their own writing.
We don't know what they have.
facing this way.
Well,
Yeah,
If
it's
you
allowed
look
to
at
go
the
in
side,
I guess.
you've got
Okay, let's see if
unicorn,
I can Oh no, I cannot.
spectator, dragon, tiefling.
Okay, so yeah, we're
And
gonna
what's
put
on
the
this
unicorn
side?
skull in the bit that says.
Just 4 empty alcoves.
I'll just put the unicorn one in there. Like you said, say unicorn.
Yeah.
And on in the kind of corners and up on the room, there's this weird shimmering. And you see kind of like these purple vines, very much out of place and indicative of a realm far from here. Make a nature check.
19.
They're almost Feywildish. But it's like as you try and stare at it longer, it's weird.
Look at this.
You do have
This is
that.
gonna, yeah.
That's gonna matter.
Bob wins the day.
Yeah, there's this kind of faint shimmering, and you all in both of your rooms feel this kind of skin crawling, kind of creeping, kind of cold. It's like somebody's put you into a vacuum, and then there's this popping sound as you hear these other voices.
Oh, fuck off.
What?
Hello, fingers.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello? Who's that?
They said gay.
Who's that?
I'm waking up.
God, they sound really stupid, don't they? Where did we hear this from?
You just kind of hear this permeating from all around.
Where are you?
Who are you?
Are you with the Alliance? Hail the Alliance!
Oh, it's just people from the Feywild making fun of us. Ignore it.
This is so annoying.
My inside chat being like,
Where was the alliance when you were the alliance?
What's the password?
Today, people's friends.
You've been asked what the password is.
Death to the gods.
Oh,
I think that is our password.
First time, yeah.
Yeah, first time.
Clearly they're on our side. Are you two trying to find the weapon?
Say that again.
Are you two trying to find the weapon?
What weapon?
The weapon.
No, you stole us down here.
What's my name?
What?
What's my name?
How would I know?
Who do you report to?
The alliance.
Okay, now I'm starting to question it.
Are you stuck in a room?
No.
So it's just us then?
Yeah, it seems so. Can you tell?
Can we ignore them at all?
Do you have skulls?
Who you are, how many of you there are, and a vague estimation of your health and power.
It's about 4 dozen.
Do you have skulls?
We have what?
Skulls!
And that's it. The voices, as quick as they come, they disappear. The grass fades. The vines fade.
Oh.
And that kind of weird, kind of skin crawly as if somebody's crept over your grave disappears.
God
I
damn it.
nicked
Oh.
my superior health pot.
Roll away.
I'm about for them.
Oh, no.
What did you just do?
No, I just took my superior health pot. I know what just happened.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
That was really, really good.
Well, who did you hear then?
Who did I hear?
Yeah.
You guys can't speak to each other.
Yeah, we
You can't hear each other. You couldn't hear each other.
Wait, what did I just roll?
I don't know.
They didn't sound like anyone of the Alliance.
So,
Also, they seem to be talking to people other than us.
I don't. Well,
They were answering
but I'm
questions
pretty
that
sure
we were
we were
asking.
not Alliance members.
Yeah, I don't.
you've you've got 4 skulls, and you've placed 1 in an alcove.
Yeah, now I'm just looking at the others and being like, well, which one is most likely to be flying?
So are we putting the human one with the human
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
and the other 3 on the opposite sides?
Yeah, I'm going to assume that this one is like. So, humans one's here with the human writing. And then.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Sure.
well,
I've been on first
the
attempt.
problem is we
Okay
don't
with
know.
you? Can you put them next to
Oh,
each other so I
sorry.
can try and
Yeah.
visualize? Yeah.
Can you actually write on the sheets of paper where the mirrored writing is for each of them?
Mirrored on this side, mirrored on this side.
I put those. Yeah, that's
So you fell on this side, mirrored writing on this side, and you've got it on the side.
Okay.
That's just my thought process.
Yeah?
Does anything happen?
Well.
No, we've still got an alcove over there. Move that one over.
Wait, this one.
As you place you place them in, and you just wait. Nothing appears to happen to these. As you place the skulls in and kind of step away, there's this kind of small flash of light as your eyes readjust. For all intents and purposes. You
Place the skulls into the correct sockets.
Yes.
Oh.
go.
So what these skulls teleport, or like they appeared then?
They swapped places.
They appeared in front of us.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move them to that side then, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
corresponding to their.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all move them over. And again, there's that flash of light that now the 3rd time that this has happened after the crystals, the swapping of the things. And this time as you look, that wall that had these alcoves in the middle has faded, and you can see your comrades on the other side. And in the center of where this partition was, there is a black hole that descends further into the temple.
Everyone kills your arms. I'm hanging off my arm.
He just left us up.
So have both sides put their skulls into the sockets?
Yeah, that's what triggered this.
Torch, anyone? Check down, as usual.
I walk to the edge and look down using my devil sight.
Yeah. You look down, spiral staircase goes down, there's a doorway at the bottom.
Really? Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Seems to be
I mean, they invented from a discussion.
Well,
You do it then.
There's only one place to go. Let's go. Gonna head down.
Yeah. Just sneakily watching for any random telephone.
And keeping our ears open for any weird disembodied voices.
Yeah. They're totally friendly people.
I no longer think they're for the Alliance.
Wait, so you heard the weird voices too?
Yeah.
Yes.
They made no sense though.
What did they? No, I don't think they're Alliance.
They couldn't name me.
Oh well, if they
And
couldn't name
they
you.
didn't
Well,
have
they mustn't be
spells.
Alliance because
I'm
everyone knows
I
they
am
That's
General
what
Corvax
it
of the
was.
Alliance.
Slayer of the Fat. What's his
Baphomet.
name? Baphomet, yeah.
Everyone knows man.
Yeah. To be fair, everyone in the Alliance does know you, so.
I don't know. Maybe your voice sounded a little bit hoarse though. Maybe they just didn't recognize you.
Maybe. They didn't know about the weapon.
Yeah, well, I thought we
Which
don't
is-
even know about the weapon.
Yeah. It seems
We
they
barely know what
They
we're
know
doing.
marginally less than we do about the weapon.
We should
So nothing.
Shall we?
we,
We should
like,
think of a
continue this
question to ask them if
Yeah,
that
let's
happens
head
again.
down.
That will let
Let's
us
head
tell.
down.
Yeah, like.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What does everybody in the Alliance know?
About, what do you mean?
What do we know that they don't that we could ask to test?
We
them?
know that the gods are false and must die.
But they know
They
that
seem
we.
to
Oh,
know
we
that.
know that we scouted Elysium on the beaches of Oceanus. No one from the Pantheon would know that.
They might do if Thea told them.
Should we? Oh well, they'd kill her.
No, they, cause we got spotted by other people, so they might.
They would have had to told before though, because she's dead now. So I can't really prove any. Surely the Alliance must have some sort of way of proving who members are.
Well,
We've never thought of it.
I think at the very least, outside our direct commanders, we should just
Yes,
trust ourselves.
yes, yeah. Let's trust
No one
only
else.
only ourselves.
Until we have our weapon.
We were ordered by Lady
Should
Zariel
we
to
have a
get this
password
weapon.
then for
Yes.
us?
The question.
Who's this?
Next,
Yes,
who is this?
yes.
Should we hear that again? Say to them, where is Lord Osmodius now?
Where is it?
And if they don't answer, attacking the fort at the Shadowfell, which,
We could tell them.
which everyone in the Alliance knows because they are here in the Shadowfell. If they don't know that,
And nobody in the Feywild knows. Nobody of the Alliance know, except for the ones that are being killed right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would have
Call
heard
that
about
too.
it if there was an excursion into the Feywild.
How about we just trust ourselves for a moment and we'll work it out?
what was the information you gave us at the very beginning in the intro?
That you were going to the Shadowfell to take it from the Alliance. That which way are you looking for? I'm sure they're going to be looking there. Lord Osmodius Zagtomian Labmassive Duplex will lead the army to strike at the stronghold of the Shadowfell, and you're going to a kind of garrison fortress secondary stronghold a couple miles off, which is where your superiors believe there to be a weapon. you're yet
If
to
we
come to.
think that this message represented a Pantheon incursion in the Feywild, should we try and send a message out to our superiors to warn them that there may be an invasion there?
We definitely should, just in case. But
Do we have the means to
I
do
can say
so?
I can just say that.
We could do. Oh, if it's that easy to do it, then probably do it. My only thinking is because we basically brought our entire force and threw it at the Shadowfell.
They
so-
must know that we're here by now. Like,
Yeah, but they could be doing
The
something similar. They
defenders
could
in
be
the
doing something-
Shadowfell will have sent word out.
yeah.
They could be
Send
doing
that, send that to Osmodius.
Okay. Can I just? Yeah. I'm just gonna send it.
He's like
Cool.
He'll probably reply.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have
He's
send
quite
it,
prompt for that sort of stuff. You know, Lord
Who's
of
this?
Moses, yeah.
Wisdom save for me, please.
This is.
plus 4.
Oh, I'm next to you. Okay. What is it? Oh.
Wait, is he?
That's 20. That's 20.
Natural 20.
Plus 10.
Cool. You only take 4 points of damage. As you channel your mental energies outward, the way the spell you feel it normally works is as you channel in it, and you almost feel a part of yourself or part of your energy exit your own body, and you direct it to less of a direction and more of a person. As you try and do that, you almost feel it get bounced back. And you recall as the energy hits your mental defenses again.
So that did
That
not. I'm
actually
aware
not.
that didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, that did not work. We can't contact anyone, guys.
There must be powerful abjuration magics around this area stopping anyone from communicating out. Or
But I haven't detected it thus far.
How did they, those people in the Feywild,
think I just need a map.
set
I don't know if that was even their intent.
Yeah, that's true.
Could roll an Arcana check if
Used a bit,
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. 25.
Yeah. Yeah, you would agree with Vilton that this was some sort of restrictive magic to either keep something from exiting, the magic from exiting or entering, and it makes it somehow
Sarah
just turned up. Okay. Even more puzzling the fact that you have received some outbound communication not just seconds ago.
So, would I be aware of, like, would I know whether if they just cast the sending, whether it reached me or not? Like, could someone else from outside get to me, or is it just me that can't get out?
It would be hard to say 100%, but just from the strength of the magic and just the kind of almost flavor, the scent you got from the magic coming back, the kind of slight shift in differences in it, which you can only do because you rolled so high. You would imagine if somebody tried to cast sending into this, it wouldn't come through.
Right. Okay. So this is some higher force going on here. This is not just random people bumping into each other.
probably part of the defences built around this weapon.
So
Could
there
be.
are others.
They probably didn't want anyone scrying in to detect it, and a side effect of that protection is probably this blockage.
Seems likely. But
I love it when people fully understand what we've created. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, if that's what happened. Yeah, I don't know who made this place.
Oh.
I was trying to actually answer the questions where you're like, how do I answer that? Yes. That's it.
Yeah. Wait. Do you have a copy of what I've written? Yeah,
So
you
we're-
could.
we're-
You could say that.
We're all together now.
Yeah.
And that doorway that we saw before that I cracked now
is a room that you have fallen from. So you fell
we're
into
down.
a
and
separate
there was a spiral.
room. Yeah.
Shall we head down the spiral?
Yes.
By jump.
Cool. You head down the spiral and you find yourself at the start of another long room. It's about 20 foot long. There's a partition in the middle, similar to the one above, that is 10 foot wide.
Is this down the middle in terms of a path from us forward, or in the middle in the other direction?
In the middle, forward to the other side. On the far end, looking forwards, there appear to be motifs of 3 large skulls, maybe 5 foot wide, made of this grey substance you'd have to get closer to see. And from this 10 foot middle section, it slopes quite sharply down, about 10 foot into or onto this kind of white white floor. So just like you're in this almost raised platform, and there's 2 sections of floor that run all the way down. Quite steep, I would say. They're at like a 60-70 degree kind of
What
thing.
height?
It's about, you kind of look over the edge, and in total you'd say it's probably about a 10 foot drop onto the floor on the other side.
Yes. Going to do our standard look for traps.
Sure. Investigation.
So that's 22.
Amazing. There don't appear to be any traps on this middle section that you're in. Do you go down onto the...
No, I keep going along the middle and trying to see if there's anything relevant to like those skulls.
Yes. Doesn't appear to be anything. As you kind of get closer up, the skulls appear to be made of this kind of grey crystalline substance, kind of like the crystals above, but as if they're somehow not, like, they have no magical source to them anymore.
I'm still not keen to go down the slopes just yet.
What, we're on a circle platform.
Well, no, Bob's unconscious.
What sort of platform?
You're on this lengthwise platform, similar to the room you were in before.
Yes.
Very similar to the room you were in before. There's this middle partition about 10 foot across, and then these. Yeah.
And then, is there a door at the end or an end?
No, at the opposite end are just the 3 motifs of the skulls made of that weird crystal substance.
I'm gonna potion.
What's the crystals? Yeah.
She's just always the instigator.
Yeah.
Gonna poke it again.
I'm gonna poke it. I'm gonna go and look.
Yeah. You walk
I
up.
don't understand any of this.
Yeah. You walk up. You face them. No change.
I'll look down either side of the slope. Do slope and then drop.
You're almost like on top of a plateau, and then it's a sharp drop, and then it's
And then flat
flat
again.
again. Yeah.
And then
I find no traps. He's going to poke it.
The skulls.
Look
Yeah,
at
okay,
it.
skulls.
there's 3 skulls made of crystal.
But the actual
what's
skulls
the
are just
opposite
a
side?
motif.
It's the same
Motifs.
Like, okay, it's the motifs. Do the skulls match up with the motifs?
The skulls are the motif.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's
The
not
motif
actual-
is of skulls.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any skulls?
Is there a gap behind the skulls?
What's a skull?
Like a small place where they could
Well,
see?
Seeing going on.
Yeah, that's a gap.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Is the room
Overarching theme.
fully symmetrical?
Yeah.
So and the motifs are on both sides.
On the far side. When you look behind you, the doorway that you've come through, they're not on that side. The doorway is where they would be on the other side.
There's no doorway on that side.
Nope, no doorway on the other side.
Have you walked in the room yet?
Yeah, I've walked straight across to this
Yeah,
one.
he's
Okay.
got right to the other end. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Before, I'm going to investigate a bit down below, but first of all, I'm going to activate levitate on myself so I can quickly zoom up if it starts filling with something nasty.
Okay.
Lava. So I cast levitate, and then I move over the edge and slowly lower myself down, getting me to go up again immediately if it becomes necessary.
Okay. You levitate over the side of the drop, start to move down, down, down until you're just inches from the floor. Nothing. Half an inch. Quarter of an inch. And very softly, your feet touch the white floor below you.
White form. Like, not still this darkened cobble we've been walking across.
Yeah, no, different. I'd like you to make a strength check for me. Or a strength saving throw.
Goodness, it's the war.
I've got -1 strength saving throws.
How big is this room?
This is going to be
Just
real
roll
hard
that
for you.
20, it'll be fine.
You just roll that.
Or a 12, that's fine
Plus
too.
11.
How far across is the room?
No, he wouldn't be in this case.
Oh.
11.
As your feet touch the floor, it's almost as if the floor itself grabs you. As if that white powder suddenly starts snaking around your feet and pulling you under, and you get dragged into up about your knee, halfway down your knee.
Okay, I'm going to use Far Step to teleport back up to the center area.
Great. Far Step first. You will first take 7 points of damage. And you said Far Step?
Yes. Teleports up to 60 feet to a point I can see.
Oh, teleports?
That's a scary looking face there.
Good.
You feel you expend that energy, and as you attempt to move through space, into the space above, what you would normally do, there's almost a rebound of energy.
I will fire my little grapple gun at you.
Wisdom check for me. Yourself. Or wisdom saving throw, sorry.
Dear. 11 again.
Okay, you take 6 points of damage as you feel the energy that you outputted for that spell rebound back to you.
I'm rolling very poorly today.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Yeah. You fire a grappling gun?
Yep.
Okay. Are you where are you aiming the gun?
Literally at him.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Well,
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a 9 then.
It hits his armor and bounces off to the side.
Can you
It
reach
seems
it
to
at all?
penetrate
Are you like just have control of your
Well,
arms?
you'd be proficient with the math timers, presumably, right?
Yeah, but I just treat it as an attack roll. You don't get any proficiency with it because it's like,
You know, okay.
there's no plus anything to it. At least
No, if you make an attack with it, you should just add your attack bonus to it.
So it should be dex.
Yeah, the very least,
proficiency.
yeah.
Okay, well,
So
that'll be
plus
14.
What's your armor class?
14.
Okay. So roll. Does it normally do? Does it have any damage?
No, it
in
doesn't.
there?
It doesn't do it. It doesn't.
Just make a strength check.
I'll do take 3 points of damage as this grappling hook embeds itself into your side, piercing your armor.
I don't think this is a
And then do you start pulling?
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, no. Give me the card.
Oh, I just realised
It
that's
can
gonna
pull
drag
you
you
out.
This is unfortunate.
Prop yourself. Feet.
Yeah, prop myself like.
Go. If the grapple finds purchase, then the wielder will be pulled 30 foot closer to that object.
Look for the creature though.
If the target, I saw.
Oh.
I don't know if you go whoop. If the target is a creature, it must succeed on the DC 15 strength save or be pulled 15 foot closer.
I'm going to fail my check.
Have you done it?
But preemptive.
Surely that's just the creature fighting to not be pulled.
Can you deliberately fail your strength?
I don't know.
I mean, surely you could not resist.
In this situation, I would put it up against the strength of the glue holding.
Yeah, it would be whatever's pulling you into the floor. Is something pulling you?
Well, there's two things to consider. How much of a purchase this has on you. Well, no, I suppose the nature of the weapon is that it's in you. She doesn't. Yeah, it would be a bit interesting. Yeah, okay, okay. So I will do yeah. No, okay. You feel yourself yanked up out of the floor. And 15 foot. Yeah, you're just dragged up against onto the thing. And as you
an incline, like how steep? Is it like that or is it like that?
It's like that. Like it's steep, but
you're not gonna be able to like stand on it and perch us very well.
What you have noticed, even though you didn't put too much pressure onto that, what's the highest passive perception you guys have?
16. I have quite mental actually.
What's the passive
21.
perception?
It's just your whatever your plus is on to 10.
So you hear this, it's almost like falling rain. It's kind of like that.
Is it falling rain on like a surface or a puddle or?
Surface. It's like kind of continuous like falling. Yeah, like almost kind of like if you dropped a bag of rice onto a granite floor, and you just hear that kind of thing skittering across. Yeah, and you hear just like this.
I'm gonna pull something out, like a coin or something. I'm just gonna throw it down.
Okay. Yeah.
To the lowered area.
You throw it down, and it just like gets like yanked under by some unseen something, and it disappears.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep pulling them up.
Like, I was near the skulls when he went in. Did they flare or anything when?
Absolutely.
Make a perception check.
I think we might have to retrieve 3 skulls from underneath this thing, or something.
Underneath the white floor?
8.
Yeah, if there's 3 skulls in the wall, that maybe we need to get 3 from.
Can you detect this, like through this?
Alright, I'll try and dispel magic on the floor.
I was thinking, okay, alright. At what level?
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Just 3, I don't think.
Well, it still has a chance to.
Yeah, I know.
I might have a roll off against something.
Well.
Do you have the little sheet?
I don't even know.
What
the
mask
you said that skull's like 5 foot, right? Did we know what their skull's of?
Well, they were really big, so definitely nothing human.
Well, no,
I'm going to try 4th level dispel magic against the floor down there.
Okay.
So I need to make an ability check, and the DC is 10 plus spell's level. If it's 4th level or sorry, if it's 5th level or higher.
You cast your magic into this mass. The magic is being cast.
But you didn't let me make the roll.
You could roll if you'd like.
That's quite telling.
I tell you what, roll a wild magic surge.
What, you want me to actually roll on the table? Or roll to see if I roll on the table?
Roll to see if you roll on the table.
Oh, I rolled an 8. But that was actually me casting the dispel magic and then roll again. And I rolled a 1.
Yes!
Random time!
Have you got it there?
I got it.
Okay.
I
yes!
off the 2 pages.
Suddenly
I'm so happy that happened.
I'm hoping to have at least once. At least once.
Let's see what happens. That is a 60.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I regained my lowest level expended spell slot.
Nice.
Hey,
or maybe you get
yes,
2
I rolled
choices.
twice.
Oh,
because-
yeah.
Somehow I'm kind of disappointed, actually. Wow.
So I can either get my spell slot, or I can get. Oh, that's 3. Or for the next minute, I can see any invisible creature that if I have line of sight to it. I get to choose which.
Both not bad.
What's your lowest expended spell slot?
3rd.
Oh.
But I mean, I've got sorcery points, and I can regain spell slots on a short rest. So I'm gonna, just for the hell of it, for the next minute, I can see any invisible creature if I have line of sight to it.
Actually, that probably wouldn't be that helpful since I have Witch Sight letting me see it.
She's done it.
I've made my decision, Alex.
Shall we go?
You can now see invisible objects.
See anything?
Just scan
Well,
the room.
Well, as far as you're concerned, I just tried to cast a spell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If that, so on the sides,
Yep.
is there any alcove or position to place an object?
Not that you can see.
See these skulls as well. Do we know what creatures they are?
Humanoid?
All right, right. So it's not like there was something which was this big. It was like this is blown up. Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's probably right that they're probably hidden under the goop.
Or we might have to put the skulls in the goop.
The skulls are images of not actually.
I already made that
No,
mistake.
the images have to go in the goop.
The images.
It's just part of the wall, isn't it?
Unless it's like painted on the wall. Or...
No, it's made up of crystals. I obviously didn't explain that, sorry. Yeah,
Oh no, I thought they were crystal skulls just on pedestals.
no, sorry, they're like flattened. Imagine like a.
Almost like one of those metal carvings you get on the walls, like metal paintings.
Or is it more like a mosaic made with crystals?
Yeah, like that. Imagine like a rune, a rune that is 3D but made up of crystals.
Right. Oh, so three skulls. Maybe.
Can we somehow see beneath this goop?
Could detect magic appears to see if there were any magical spells beneath
We could always try it. It's gone us this far.
All you're gonna see is like the
It's our
magic.
catch 22.
Yeah. I mean, I might be able to tell
it.
us something.
What if the goop isn't magic but is a creature?
Like,
The
so,
goop might
see
just be a
when-
really good superglue.
See when you went in it,
Imagine.
it was pulling you into it, wasn't it? Was that right?
It grabbed it. Was it pulling
Yep,
it down?
that's what it felt like.
Grabbing you in.
Well, it also when I threw that coin in, it just.
Are there any creatures that we know of?
It could be a type
Bob.
of ooze or something.
It can be
of that
Bob.
nature.
Bob's here.
We could toss
The
Bob in.
blonde master himself.
Except that we can't communicate out to them.
Just remember though, if we
You're
toss
very
Bob
silly
in, that's
guy.
Bob done.
Can any of us talk to Bob? Does Bob speak?
Bob's unconscious. He's
Yeah, no, but if we woke him up with spell salts.
Does Bob look like the sort of person who would be trusted with the secrets of this ancient?
he was literally caught as a sacrifice. Like, that's
I could crush him
First
into
of all, before we
paste
get
every
in,
time.
can Bob communicate with us? Does he have a language they ever speaking? So,
well, yeah.
They were talking earlier
yeah,
and you guys
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
certainly hear.
Oh, and
He understood them.
You
You were outside the wall, so you were actually reading snippets.
Do you have any spells in which you could suggest or command him to learn?
Who?
Do you want
Those are very specific words.
to
I
do
just
detect
used.
magic?
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
the goop might not actually be magical. It might just be.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Some
We'll
sort of
cast
ooze creature.
detect magic. Actually, I'd like that. Yeah, okay.
Do you have a spell that's more
You
efficient
decide
against
because
creatures?
your spells you.
I'm looking at my spells. Okay, yeah, I want to cast detect magic.
They're all
Well, I just got to cast detect. Cast detect magic on myself, and then I want to look
Sure.
at the good.
Are you doing it as a ritual 10 minutes or are you just.
I was just doing it.
That's it. Cool. The now affectionately termed goop does not appear to be magical. It's got a range of 30 foot, right? And it's blocked by.
It's like
Two
rock.
2 foot of rock, 1 foot of metal, and
Yeah, like lead or something.
You would
gamma ray.
very, very vaguely see, I guess, on the about halfway down this room, down at the bottom under this goop, appears to be a very, very faint source of magic.
the mosaic scrolls.
How about if
and
someone
the musician.
just went
I'm-
in?
Hold
Died
on,
down.
I've just had
Yeah.
names.
Someone could do that, yeah.
Where are they? Point me.
I'll point you.
right, you point to me, and so can I just treat this paper as like the room? So there's the skulls here.
Yep.
Skulls there.
Yep.
Slope, goop, goop. Where's this magic source you point to me at?
Magical sources here. You guys are up on this platform.
Wait,
the word
Have you looked up? Make sure
And
there's
this is
nothing on the
all
roof?
goop.
And there's 3 motifs, you said.
3 motifs here.
Like on the.
So there's only 2 sources of
Yeah.
of magic.
Is there anything on the roof with magic?
It's just a crystal.
Someone could like plunge dive in there with you, and you could look for it, and you could dive into
I mean, I've got
I
a
can't. I'm large.
Except
so
that remember when I tried to teleport,
Oh, yeah,
I get
stop.
rebounded.
I'm gonna go
I
to
don't see
the.
like dimensional doorway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put my hand in.
I mean, I've got a
I'd see
glass
how to
10
wait.
foot down.
Does anyone have like telekinesis or something to turn?
That requires you to be able to see the object. I looked it up just in case. So
So you can't
if
use
someone were
magical.
if someone
Throw a
else
bomb in.
were to use an attack to
No,
Okay,
if I throw
I'm
a bomb
going
at
to-
you, it's not going to do anything.
Then
Listen,
you
Can
can
we
use
can we
telekinesis
wake
to
him
lift
up and then throw him in? I'll cast a message on him and see if he's still alive.
He would instantly
He's,
die.
he's going to wake up in this goop drowning. Like he's not going to be listened to. Oh, would you mind going a bit further down? Get it?
I'm going to be able to contact you. Anyway.
Here's a suggestion. If we can use an attack to disperse the goop from around not one of these objects, a single sharp attack, I could use telekinesis to pull it up.
Do we have anything long to see if we can just stab it to see if
This
it's
is 10 foot
malleable?
slope.
Like we don't even know if we can.
I think if anything touches it, it grabs it and tries to pull it in.
So do we even know that attacking it will? We could try. We could try.
I'm gonna throw a firebolt at the goop.
Because that worked with all the tentacles last
Yeah.
time.
Roll damage.
They were still alive.
Just have visions of her like somehow missing a rebound all over this room.
10, 20, 30, 36. I reroll these.
Wait.
41,
For a fireball or
44,
A bolt.
51.
Isn't that this vaporizing?
51 points of damage on a cantrip.
Yeah, well, it's because I rolled 3
Yeah.
10s there, so I got to re-roll. So it was. It ended up being 7d10 instead of 4d10.
You fire this bolt into this mass, and there's this puff of white powder, and you can see now below maybe like 3 or 4 inches of fine white powder is a swirling mass of bones. They are all seemingly independent and yet move in a pattern together. It's like a school of fish, except they are bones of all varieties. You've got leg bones, you've got some skulls going through there, you've got like arms, you've got all sorts. It's just this writhing mass, which appears to be, which is blackened by your attack. As you've done that, the impact of that force hitting this side of the room, you all kind of steady yourself, and it's weird, you don't move, but the bit in front of you starts moving, and it's almost as if the whole thing starts tilting, and that kind of sound of kind of rain or rice or something like that moving gets more intense, and you can see on the opposite side that part has started to come up like this. And you can just see all that fine white powder kind of running down the room, running kind of under under the platform that you're on, and the whole room is literally tilting up like
Is
this.
it the room tilting or the tumbler, like the middle of tumbler that turning?
You appear to be stationary and the room is turning. And as this is happening, and you're kind of like, what's going on? You feel a familiar feeling of both vertigo of someone walking over your grave, of this kind of feeling all over your skin, this crawling, as if there's like something right at the back of the nape of your neck, but you can't quite get it. And then there's this sound, kind of like the sounds of stone scraping against stone, but not on the level of what you did with the statues upstairs, but on the level of mountains scraping against mountains, as if 2 giant volcanoes are crashing into each other. And at first it sounds faint, and then it's getting louder, and then it appears not just in one direction, but in all directions. And there's this almighty flash of light, and this almighty bang, which almost bursts your eardrums, and you this just reverberating kind of this thing, and your vision is gone completely, and you are all disoriented, and you feel immediately sick, as if someone has just yanked the floor out from both above and below you and all around you, as if you've suddenly been teleported across all planes immediately. And as you come to, you look around and you're at the base of a staircase. Crystalline, this weird mix of black shadow and greeny vines, and it just leads up into the sky, and you look around and you're no longer in some underground temple. You look around, you're on a small platform, maybe only 10 foot wide, and around you see it just drops off into nothing. You are hundreds and hundreds of feet in the air, potentially miles in the air, and you look down upon this landscape, both familiar and unfamiliar. Huge sections of the black Shadowfellian stone, and then huge vast pines and forests and grasslands, as if two very contrasting things have suddenly been merged and blended together in some weird twist. And you look down and you can see faintly people, and a huge mass of people. Your armies, both above some structure that you entered, and also the 1 mile off, the main stronghold that Lord Osmodius was going towards. But there also you see an army you do not recognize in vast numbers, assaulting almost from the same position. And they're now fighting each other. Some army fighting another, some army fighting your own, but vastly greater numbers than there were before. And you look up at this staircase leading up, and it just leads up into the sky. And the sky around you is just a swirling maelstrom of fire and water and earth and all of the elements above. All sorts of sounds come to your ears. Is this storm of unimaginable strength and power and destruction. And you just look up at this staircase leading up, and you look up to the drop a mile down.
I start bombing up the staircase.
And that is where we're going to end before dinner.
Oh. God, you had us really enraptured with that speech there. Like,
That was weird. I did
So
not expect that to happen
maybe
when I attacked
shooting
you.
a firebolt at
Yeah.
the goose.
if nothing else works, blow it up.
Yeah.